What is good, Vibe Gang? It is your boy. We got another one, ladies and gentlemen. Episode number 2 of Vibe Talk. We're going to bring up my man, Shy Time's own. My man, album out now, Pale Horse on every streaming platform. Everybody, I want to see flames in the chat. I want to see flames in the chat. And welcoming my man, my brother from another color, from another mother, my man, Saint Mesus.
Hey,
What is good, my guy?
Hey, what up? What up? What up to everybody in the chat? What up? What up, sir? Thank you for having me on. I'm very honored to be here, man.
It's my honor to have you up on the page and showing love, my guy.
Thank you, man.
Bro, I'm gonna tell you something right now, right off rip. I heard of you with Pale Horse, with the songs before Pale Horse dropped. And I said, hold the fuck on. And then when I did the Pale Horse album review live, I was like, yo, you seem so interesting to me when it comes to the way your flow and your cadence, forget about it, is out of this fucking world. But the way you paint a picture, the way you tell a story. And that's what got me. So I like I told you backstage, I'm going to start doing every single album you got out, every track, everything you got out. I want to be a super fan of Mesus. So as a fan, I'm going to tell you, dude, you're gonna be sick of seeing my fucking face.
Well, hey, you know what, man? That's very humbling, bro. So it's like, yeah, that's very humbling, dog. It's been a long road to get to where I'm at. So there's definitely a lot there to listen to, and you know, there has been quite a few new faces that have been turned on to what I'm doing. So I've always been telling people, if you go to my channel, I mean, by all means, if you just want to dive in album by album, that's another way too. But I made like a playlist right on my homepage that's called The Mission of Mesus. And that literally is kind of like I would say a better representation as opposed to like going to my videos. A lot of people will go to videos and hit popular. That's what they'll do. A lot of my popular shit is I guess controversial, because controversy is what gets the most attention. But a lot of my personal music, like Dear Rap, is probably my favorite personal album that I have, you know, so far at least, that I've put out. So yeah, Dear Rap there's a lot of records from Dear Rap that I would say got overshadowed because a lot of my music in 2020, 2021 was speaking on 2020 and 2021, and because that's what I do. Music is like therapy. That's how I process shit. That's how I see life and experience life, and it just comes out. And you know, there was a lot of crazy shit happening. So I spoke on it, and it resonated with people, and that's what kind of put me into the viral-ish world. And then like I said in Pale Horse, I said on that the last song of the album, I said, you can fact check every bar that I write. You know, in other words, you know, I'm speaking the truth, and everything I said was real life and shit that's happening. But I also said, but you can fact check every bar that I write. Only mistake that I made, I ain't marketed right. So it's like when you go to my catalog, it looks like a shit show. I put that on the damn description of my new playlist. I said that. I said, man, my video looked like a shit show because I didn't have really a lot of money. I didn't have really knowledge of how this goes. I'm from the era where people actually listen to lyrics. They don't just not listen to lyrics.
Right.
So I'm like, you know, a lot of my shit went over people's heads. A lot of people they're waiting to hear a clickbait word or whatever the case may be. And so, you know, in a nutshell, I felt like, man, if you want a true representation, either shit, just go album by album from the jump. 24/7 is the first one I got out there. or just start at that Mission of Mesus thing and just go right down there, because I feel like that paints a much truer representation of who I am versus
and that's dope that you have that. That's dope that you have that in your page, because usually when I'm like getting into a new artist and I want to get into like really get into this person, because whether the first, second, or third song I heard of theirs really got me, and now I want to dive into their stuff, and I dive into everything. I dive into every story they have of themselves, every interview, so like that I can hear what the interviewer is asking and learn more about them, and I really, really, really get into them, because like music is represents who you are. That represents that you're telling your story out there, and that's the best thing for me in the world, because I hate reading fucking books. So I like hearing a story when it's told to me in such a way that I'm just like, okay, now you got my imagination going. Now you got me really thinking about and visualizing everything you say, because I like to take it a little step further and really get deep into this person that I'm pretty much giving up my time to listen their story. It's just like reading a book, but it's just in music form for me. Amen. And it's just like I want to hear everybody's different story. So when I see you come, and I'm just like, oh shit, okay, the way he talks and the kind of things that he's saying, it kind of represents me in a lot of fucking ways, more ways than a lot of other people. And I'm just like, yo, he's kind of low key telling my story. and that's how I feel. And that's just off of the Pale Horse album. I haven't really gotten into your stuff yet, because I want to, do it respectfully and give you your own playlist on my thing and give your own time. Because I don't know if you know, but when I sit down and I really fuck with an artist, I could take a 2-minute song that you make and make it an hour reaction.
I love it,
because I'm getting into everything that you're saying.
I love it, bro. That's what it's supposed to be about. If that's what people, nothing drives me more crazy than when I see as far as reactions go, and I see one that's the song's 4 minutes long or whatever, and the reaction's 5.5 minutes or 5 minutes. I'm like, the fuck did you talk about? Like, what did you react to, man?
They pressed play and went and started making faces, and then that was great. Go follow him down below.
Make sure you like and subscribe, and
all that other shit.
Yeah.
See, but like that, like when I came into that reaction game, I was always like, in my mind, I'm like, this is new to me. Before I started doing reactions, low key, all I had was old school rap, Eminem, 50 Cent, Nas, Jay-Z. That was all that I was listening to. I wasn't listening to anything new.
Yeah.
And then when I got here, I was just like, it's an opportunity for me to help me with my sobriety, so I could find something to focus on and put my energy in.
Yeah.
And also to really get into these new independent artists that are out here.
Yeah.
And then that's how I got into that hole. And then I'm just like, oh my God, like you guys are really, 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 really true hip hop. Absolutely 110%.
Man, bro, I could show you around. I don't have it on I got this on a webcam right now. But okay, so you see right here, that's a punch clock. To anybody who's worked jobs where you got to go and actually put the little card in the clock. That door right there goes into my booth. There's my recording window over here somewhere. You can see that window right there. That's my vocal booth, man. Like, I treat this shit for like, even though I got a job in it, like I said, you know what? If I'm gonna have a job in this and this is gonna be my career, I'm gonna treat this shit like the same way I did when I fucking got up at 6 in the morning, 5 in the morning, and had to go fucking punch the clock. So yeah, man, this to me, I consider myself extremely blessed to have an opportunity to do what I love to do for a living, because one, there is not many people that are able to do this, like that just have that as a career. Two, I know how much I gave up and sacrificed to get here, like how hard I fucking grinded to get to this spot. I was homeless, lived in my car. I mean, I've been so far in debt, you know, because literally every single penny I lost. Like I was on an interview earlier this morning, and I was talking about how I met LL Cool J because I thought it was crazy that he was, you know, we were in the charts with him and you know all that, and I got LL's manager's number when I met him, and I was so broke, and so like just every single penny would go to a studio time or a beat or whatever.
Right.
That I literally I would pay it before I pay phone bills. I'd pay it before I'd pay, you know. And so what happened is I literally lost LL Cool J's manager's number because that was way back when like there was no cloud or nothing, and so my bill went to a point where they shut my phone off and I lost all the numbers and shit in the phone. And so I'm talking about like, you know, I'm talking about like, I have literally, there was no plan B for me, like zero plan B. It was, I'm going to make it. I just don't know how. Just off this camera right here, you can see like the corner of a boombox this way over here.
Yeah.
Yep. There's a Nas record sitting on it. The second one, it was written, and the second song on the album, The Message, was I remember when that album came out because Nas came out and with Illmatic, and that just I was like an instant just blown away by that project. And so naturally, like the rest of the world, pretty much, I was waiting on his, you know, follow, you know, sophomore project, and we bought it day of. Went with my buddy. I couldn't even drive yet, and we got in his he had a blue Cavalier, and but he had them Rockford Fosgates with the punch amp, and I mean, man, that thing slammed. And he put that on, and I just remember track 2 coming on, and just doom 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 doom, and I just literally, that was the moment I was like, I'm gonna be a rapper. Like there was like this switch in my life. It's like being born again, man. Like from death to life, bro. Like it was literally just this moment when I remember. And you're talking about maybe, I think that album came out in 96.
96, 97, I think.
It was
like 96.
I was not driving yet. So you're talking about, I was 14, 15 years old, and I knew in that moment, I was like, this is what I'm going to be. Now, it took my ass another 25 years before I finally like bubbled and actually had a record breakthrough. And it's, yeah, before I could, like, it was a career, you know, like I had all sorts of moments over the last, since then, you know, I could tell for, you know, another 10 hours of all the crazy shit, you know, of like open mic shows we did, battles we did, opening for this artist, for that artist. For
now, how was that? How was that when you were in the battle scene? Was that in Chicago?
Yeah, it was intense. 1 second, dog. What'd you say, baby?
Are you on an interview?
Yeah.
Don't worry about me then.
I'm not.
You're not worried about me?
No, I'm not worried about you.
Oh man.
She gonna kill me. I love you, baby. Man, the battle scene was intense, dog. I mean, it was intense because New York has always taken hip hop more like a sport and more like super competitive sport. Don't get me wrong, but like it's always been like a sport, you know. It's always been it's the birthplace, you know. It's the, you know, you got to give New York, like New York's its own little separate thing when it comes to hip hop because it is the birthplace, man. I mean, there was something about when we would take trips out there, man, that just totally changed my focus. Me and Adam, like way back in the day, we'd go out there for like meetings and stuff, and for record labels. We were trying to get like a record deal and stuff. But the battle scene in Chicago was much different than the battle scene, I would say, in New York, because there's a gang banging mentality in Chicago that is real. It's very real. It's a very, deeply rooted part of the culture. And so not everybody there was was a rapper, not everybody there was on the sport of battle. And so most of the rappers for the most like could turn that switch off, but they'd come 20 deep, 10 deep, whatever, like, you know what I'm saying? And you got guys that are blown out their mind, drunk out their mind, whatever, and you just disrespected their man in front of them, and they don't
So
play
there's gonna
that.
be a problem. Yeah,
They don't
exactly.
play that because to them it's not rap. You know what I mean? And so it was a different. And then you add the fact that me and Adam were literally the only white people. The only other white person there might have been like a fucking bartender or some shit. You know what I mean?
And you talking back in like early 90s, 2000s.
2001, 2000.
At that time, like Eminem just started, and
Yeah.
the white rap scene, like I said, I'm from Brooklyn, New York.
Yeah.
So I was into this whole battle thing in New York. And I've seen these dudes in the corners battling. I've been to shoe stores, I've been to clothing stores, restaurants. I've been everywhere in all 5 boroughs going around with this battle shit.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you one huge thing. There was a couple of people that came from your town over there, and we immediately knew that they were not fucking playing. This man comes in with 30 people deep.
Oh yeah, that was.
And who he was battling was my man. So it was me and 3 other dudes, and we just looking at this like, you better not say nothing crazy, bro.
Yeah.
You better not say nothing crazy to this man, because they don't look like they like that much. I was like, I ain't playing with that, bro.
And the crazy shit is, I'm not saying this to sound tough or whatever, but this was just the reality, because none of our friends were into this rap shit or trying to be rappers or nothing. We would go up there solo dolo, me and Adam. And there was weeks we go up there. He was, he couldn't make it. I go up there. I couldn't for it. I mean, it was not. But the thing is, we got everybody. We were so embraced from the first moment because people just knew what we were on, first of all, and they also knew what we were bringing. I mean, I think a lot of people saw us almost as a meal ticket, to be honest, because M just popped. So, I think a lot of them might have looked at us like, maybe
we might be able to do something.
Maybe that worked to our advantage a little bit, but at the end of the day, nothing by the grace of God ever really got too crazy. There was a couple little whatevers, some bottles and shit going around the building and stuff, but nothing too wild. But yeah, it was a crazy scene, man, and I'm grateful for it though, because it definitely built a lot of character in me. It made me, nobody can say I haven't earned where the fuck I'm at, but at that same point, I absolutely 100% am grateful for where I'm at, because I know that, in a second, God can take it. I know God gave me what it was. I'm going to kill this other light real quick, man. I can still hear you, but it's just the switch is driving me crazy.
I got you. Now, what my main thing from those times was in New York, it really wasn't about a color thing. It was more about a skill thing.
Yeah.
If you could be an orange dude popping up here rapping. If you're rapping and you're actually saying some shit, that color shit goes out. It doesn't matter. Like, if you're trash, you're trash. It doesn't matter what color it was.
I don't think it matters in New York at all. I feel like New York is the most diverse city on America. You know what I mean? So I think that's a huge part of. I love New York. I absolutely love New York. I lived in Connecticut. Obviously, I lived in Fairfield for 5 years. So that's
really
when I was a little kid, I moved from here. I live in Nashville now, but I moved from the Midwest to Connecticut when I was in kindergarten. I started kindergarten there, and I lived there until I was in 5th grade. and then we moved back to the Midwest. So I was always, my mother worked in, I was gonna say Bridgeport, but that was a city next to me. Greenwich. She worked in Greenwich, Connecticut.
Greenwich? Okay.
She was a computer, like did a lot of computer stuff. So she was working for some company. But so we go down to New York a lot, you know, when we were kids, like, you know, when we could, so I grew up. New York was like
that was part of your bring up. Is
New
New York is kind of your style.
Yep, and that was in the early 80s. So you're talking about like I got on the hip hop when hip hop was, you know, like early, man, as opposed to like the Midwest wasn't really on that yet. The South probably wasn't really on that for the most part, you know. So that was a huge. The East Coast was a huge influence to me, and always has been, and still will be. And that's why, to me, like, you know, rap is to me is like, man, it's important to me, bro. Like hip hop is important to me. It's not just something that's just. It's not like a game to me. It's not. And sometimes I feel like I almost have taken it so serious to the point that I got my own way of success maybe earlier because that's part of it. But it's also a business at the end of the day, if you want to get into the business at least, you know what I'm saying? And business is really not that complicated. You know what I mean? Business is very black and white, cut and dry. Put shit in a box, put a label on it, and fucking send it down the line. And that's what business is. And I had to learn that, man. And I'm still learning that because as an artist, I'm like, I don't like that. I don't like that relationship. You know what I'm saying? I want, right. I also don't like loving something as much as I do and not being able to do it for a living. And the reality, so you gotta find that balance. And so I'm finding
that's perfect that you brought that up because there was a post that I actually had up here that you put up 4 days ago that speaks about that exact thing that you just said right now.
All right.
And you said pretty much, I didn't start making music to make money. So it's difficult to treat it like a business. But the reality is, if I don't, nobody will. Right. When I read that part right there, I was just like, bro, it put chills down my back because it's true. Like you independent artists, a lot of these people don't really get or understand that every single thing that they see you guys produce is coming directly out of your pocket. You guys do not have a label. You guys do not have the machine behind you pushing and promoting your shit. So when some people think overly promoting is a bad thing, I'm like, he's an independent artist.
Yeah.
That's what he needs to do in order to get, because if he doesn't do it, like you said here, if I don't do it, and no one's going to do it for you.
Nobody.
And then you go on to saying that you're like, you could put it out and not promote, but you could expect not to get anything moving with what you put out. Because if you just put it on YouTube and you're letting YouTube be your machine with the algorithm and put you out there, good luck, because it's not going to work.
No.
So you have to do every single thing. And that's just why I respect you independent artists, dude, so much, because to love something that much, to say, you know what, fuck it, I am going to take the opportunity right now and I'm just going to do it. Yeah. And put all your eggs in that basket and bet on yourself. Not a lot of people out here could do that. Not a lot of people out there have the courage to say, fuck it, I'm just going to bet on myself and I'm going to see what the fuck I could do with this. And then to see you succeed, it's like the Rocky story to me. It's always like, because it's the truth. You struggled, especially being a white rapper in a predominantly black industry. You struggled like any other white rapper would.
Yeah.
And to see you break that barrier and say, fuck it, I'm going to do it because this is what I want to do, and succeed in doing it.
Yeah.
There's nothing but applause and praises to you, my brother, because that's what an artist is. That is exactly what an artist is. To love something that much that you're willing to bet on yourself. Because a lot of people in this world don't even like themselves that much, let alone bet on themselves.
Yeah, and I mean it's thank you for saying that, dog. It's a reality though, bro. If you don't treat it like a business, to anybody who is an independent artist watching this, or an up and coming artist that's wondering how do you break through? You break through. That's how you break through. You literally, and let me tell you something. As a person who can't stand the over posting or what, there's no such thing. I had someone comment the other day, yesterday, because I've never, up until this album, never promoted like this. Promise you, never pushed the way we've pushed for this album. But if Adam, who has a much larger following than me, is gonna do that, when he could say, "Well, I got a larger following, it's gonna reach more people anyways. I could just post. You're the one that got to put." No, but he's doing it too. There's no way I'm gonna sit back and just coast, right?
Yeah.
So I'm working as hard, if not trying to post even more, to try to get my audience that I got to know that the project is out and stuff. And I'm telling you, man, like this one dude, he was like, because another independent artist is Tom McDonald, that a lot of people know. Obviously, he's on the project, and he's very notoriously known over the last few years as just being like, when he drops, every person on planet Earth is gonna know. You might not like it, love it, hate it, but you're gonna know. And like, obviously those two work together. So he kind of learned a lot of that promotional, took a page out of his book, if you will. And the reality is, it's like this dude, compared me to Tom and said I was begging people to spend their hard-earned money just so I could go number one. And I said, listen, dog, I had time. And I said, look, I said, bro, first of all, you want to talk about hard-earned money? Your $10 compared to the hundreds of thousands of dollars that I have spent investing in myself, and that's not an exaggeration, in myself over 2 decades of pursuing this career. It doesn't, but second of all, the first thing I said is, so let me get this right. You're mad at me for telling people who follow me, okay? They hit a button on their phone that said follow. You're mad because I make music. They did that because they like the music I create. You're telling me that it's cringy. No, he said cheesy. You telling me it's cheesy to tell people who follow me because they want music that I have new music out. And it's cheesy if I do it over and over and over again for the next couple weeks, because I understand that when I post, the odds are very high that most people are not going to see it because maybe they don't have their phone in their hand. Maybe they just, maybe the algorithm didn't land on their shit because maybe they haven't clicked on some of my stuff in the last few weeks or whatever. But the reality is, a very small fraction of my people that follow me are even going to see that. So I have to understand that and say, okay, I got to post at least a couple times a day, because you got to play the numbers game. And hopefully by the end of the whole rollout of the project, you're hoping, okay, at least everybody should know by this point and seen at least one post over the last month or, whatever, that this album's out, song's out, whatever the case may be. And so, that's what I said to that guy, basically. And I try to be polite, but also direct. But like, it's like, dog. So if you're an independent artist, man, as someone who is like, I'm an artist and I'm like, I want to be the guy, I want to be Kendrick, I want to be NF and just post once and then disappear for fucking 9 months and then just come back like, oh, you're welcome, I'm back, or whatever, whatever. I'm joking, like, obviously,
but it's a fact though. Like those dudes literally could come out, drop one song, everybody go fucking mad over it, and then they ghost for 6-7 months,
and they don't
hear anything else from them,
and they don't
do nothing.
There's nothing on their social media, stuff like so. I joke about it, but it's like cool. But also, what you have to understand, first of all, is both of those guys that I use as an example, both of those guys had a huge huge marketing push behind them to get them where they're at. You know, like they had teams that created the followings that they have, and that doesn't make them any less dope of an artist. It doesn't make them. To me, I don't knock, and even if you are signed, I don't knock someone who signs a deal as long as you don't compromise who you are in the process.
And you know what? It's crazy that you say that, because I've said that so many times that I don't care how you get in the bag, as long as you're not selling yourself to get that bag.
Yeah,
the business part of the music industry shouldn't be a fan's issue. Is how much is this person giving you? Is he consistent? Is he good? Is he getting better? That's what should be the fans' problems. Not how you getting your money and how you paying your bills and how you. That should be your accountant and your wife's problem. It shouldn't be, and that's it. Nobody else's. But unfortunately, we live in a society now that us old heads are not used to, because we didn't have the internet back in those days. We didn't have social media to push and everything like that. And just imagining you being who you are in that time frame where social media really wasn't what it is now, trying to come up and still crack through that, it's even more respect for that reason, because it's like the music changes up and down, and we all know that, and we go with the changes. And I'm not saying that right now, the people that are making music right now, it's all trash. There are some good artists out there that are doing good music and putting out good music.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's more of it's more recycled when I hear it. When I hear the independent artists come up, every time you're rapping, every time you're saying anything, it's so relatable and it's so right now and what's trending and a way of mixing it and the way you guys deliver it. It's insanely. That's why I've been addicted to the independent artists since I started doing this fucking reaction thing.
Yeah,
because I'm just like, bro, you guys are amazing, and you guys should get a lot more light than we guys are getting right now. So if that means that I have to see 20,000 posts of Mesus promoting something, okay, I'm there, bro. As soon as it comes, I'm coming. Don't pause the fuck out of that. But whenever you go and drop, I'm gonna be there because I'm a supporter. So I'm not going to be ashamed or pissed to see you repost your album and reposting what you're dropping. That's just what you have to do.
Take this in mind too. Just like how I said, tens of thousands or hundreds of $1,000s going to creating a project versus asking a supporter, someone who is saying, "Hey man, I love your music," you know. And I'm not going door to door and putting a gun to people's head like, "Give me your money." Like, if you follow me, that shows me that you're interested in. So I'm gonna ask, "Hey man, when it comes time to drop an album, I don't know, maybe twice a year or something." You know, it's like, yeah, that fraction. It's the same thing when you're talking about, bro, the amount of time that it takes us to create content is it's a full-time job on top of creating an album. So the promotion thing is just as, I mean, there's, like you said, independent artists versus a mainstream artist or whatever. Mainstream artist has a whole team that does everything. All the artist does is create. That's it. They create. They and a lot of times they don't even do that. A lot of times,
but Mesus, a lot of these people don't see. They don't see the real life of it. They just live in the artist's stories, and they live in that imagination world. They don't see the real life. What really goes behind what you guys have to do in order to get an album out or a track out or anything like that out. It's money that comes behind that. And if you're doing this full time, the electric bill, the water bill, and the mortgage is not going to wait until you blow up. They need their money, and they need their money right now. And that's just what it is.
Yeah.
So they could go and spend hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars a year and buy clothes to look like these mainstream motherfuckers, but they're gonna get pissed off when they see a couple of posts when an independent artist trying to blow up. It's crazy to me.
It's wild, bro. But The time, I'll tell you what, the time alone that it takes to create content versus the time that it takes to go like that, boom, there you go. The time that it takes to little, heart tap a post and drop a little 10-second comment or whatever, you know what I'm saying, to help that post keep going and get that algorithm. I'll be honest, like I said, man, as an artist who is like, I just want to rap and give people music, and I want people to listen to it. The people that like it, whoever want to listen to it, I love to go out on the road, do some shows, meet people that way or whatever, cool. But like, I'm more like, I love the music. I don't feel like I'm anything special. I'm not trying to be nothing special. I'm just a normal person who just wants to, God, this is the talent God gave me. Everybody's got their own talent. This is mine. And I'm glad it helps you or you resonate with it or whatever the case may be, cool. But the reality is, if you want to be that artist, like where that's it, then you have to be on a major because that's basically saying I don't want to do any of the other stuff that is on the business side. You know what I mean? And the reality is that was my mindset for a long time. I didn't look at it that way. I didn't look at it like I want to essentially just be lazy and expect people to buy my music or whatever, or expect people to want to hear it or know it exists or whatever. And I guess in a perfect world, if these companies actually worked the way they worked and didn't censor things the way they censored and didn't throttle people and independent and all, like, maybe that would be a reality that I would be able to do. But the reality is it's not, and you have to push your own music. And if you don't do it, like I said in that post, if you don't do it, nobody will. And so for me, I'm learning like, okay, here's the bottom line. If you rock with me, and you follow me and you want to hear my music, cool. That's what I'm gonna do. That's now I see it for what it really is, and it's a much different. I don't look at it as like this strenuous task to have to create stuff. And it's like now it's like, oh, cool. This is just a branch off of what I'm doing already. I make the music, I create the music videos or whatever, and this is just another branch off of that. Whereas before I felt like it was annoying. It's like, oh, I'm being annoying. I'm begging people and I'm pushing it. It's like, nah, it's like these people want to hear from me. They want to hear from the artist, whatever, speaking broadly. They want to hear from the people they follow. They want to, and the reality is, if they don't, it's very simple. They just don't have to follow you anymore. You know what I mean? They don't have, but it's like, I'm not gonna hold back from all the people that choose that they do want that, because there's 5 bad rotten apples or whatever that are like, okay, bye, bro. Like, it's cool. Like,
and not that I'm not saying this to say that I'm in your level at all, but
we're all at the same level.
Me doing this, like I started doing this full time like 5 months ago. Because my beautiful wife and God above helped and pushed me to do it.
Amen.
So I worked my 9 to 5 and that's gone. So I'm doing this full time. And in the beginning, I'm just like, I don't want to ask people for anything. I've always gotten everything that I've gotten, always gotten it for myself. My mom and my dad weren't rich.
Yeah.
I came up hustling and trying to make my way through. That's all I've been doing.
I'm looking up something that's relevant to what you're saying. So you're at 130K in 5 months? Yes, sir.
Well, no. I've been doing YouTube for 2 years, but I was doing YouTube and my 9 to 5 at the same time.
Still, man, in 2 years, bro, that's what's up, dog. For real.
I appreciate you, man. I appreciate it. And it's like, when I hear you guys say these things, now that I'm doing it, I'm like I said, I'm not doing it in any way, form, and the numbers that you guys are doing it, but in the way that I'm doing it, I'm just like, yo, I kind of know what the fuck that shit feels like. Like, yeah, it's crazy. Like when I'm not doing a video, it's because I'm on my phone or in my laptop making thumbnails and coming up with concepts for my other channel that I opened up. Storytime Array, go subscribe, stop being stupid. I'm just letting y'all know. All right, but little plug real quick. But
stop being stupid.
And I'm coming up with designs for my merch, and I'm doing everything myself. Like the subscribers is what's supporting me. They're the ones helping me pay my bills and being able to put my money into more better quality equipment. And I got out of the garage into a studio. So it's like either you're gonna do this shit 100% or you're not gonna do it at all.
Amen.
And
Amen.
in order for you to do 100%, our audience, our people that follow us and show us love are our managers. They're the ones that share and push our stuff. They're the ones that watch it. They're the ones that buy the albums. They're the ones that buy the merch. So it's not crazy. It's only crazy in some other people's heads for an artist to ask people, "Hey, I'm dropping something. Hey, support." That's all I want you guys to do. Just support, push it. For that man to say that what he was saying to you, dude, is like, you're right. You're 100%. Then don't follow me. If you don't want to see any of it, just stop following me.
Yeah,
you're fine. But I got a business.
Go ahead, dog. Go ahead, my man. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Like I have a business to run, and this is my business. This is what I have to do in order for my voice to be heard. If you don't like it, don't follow.
Right, and it's also, man, it's like, bro, it's a small. It's such a small, like, small group of people. Like, people like to hate watch. That's a thing. That's a real thing. You know what I mean? Like, so it's a weird thing. It's a very I don't understand it at all. Like, but this is a real thing. Like, people, I've never understood that mentality, but it is a real mentality. And you know, for me, like, if I don't like the way something tastes, I don't go back to the restaurant and eat it again.
Thank you.
And then be like, this is shitty again. It's like, okay,
like, it was shitty when you ate it yesterday.
Yeah. And I don't sit there and, you know, I've never been the guy that makes a bunch of reviews about something if it's terrible, you know what I mean, or whatever. It's just, I don't get that mentality, but there are definitely people that, unfortunately, that's their mentality. And I'm learning, I'm still learning, to either completely ignore it, or to just, you know, bless those who curse you, as the Bible says, you know. So
that's a fact.
I try to kill them with kindness.
Me and you, my brother, we're right now walking the same path.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to be the bigger man and say, you know what, just ignore it. It's going to go away. But sometimes, at the end of the day, I'm human, and I try my best. And sometimes those comments do hit. I mean, because we are human and we do get in our feelings sometimes. Yeah. So those comments do hit, but it's about what you do with that comment. Like, what you said, man. Exactly what you said earlier. With that one comment, am I going to ignore the 3,000 other comments that says that I'm the shit?
Yeah, that's the other thing is Andy Mineo. I don't know if you know who he is, but he's from New York, actually. He's a Christian guy. You may have heard of Lecrae. He's a Christian rapper. Andy Mineo signed to him years back, but he's from I want to say Brooklyn, maybe too. I don't know. He's from New York originally. But he's dope. He's a really dope rapper. And anyway, he said something in an interview that I watched years ago. I was at it. It was in Miami, and he said, you know, I have I don't know how many missed phone calls in my phone. I have so many texts that I haven't responded to, you know. And he's like, these are people that are in my life personally. They have my phone number. They have, you know, I haven't even I've missed their calls. I haven't wrote back to their text messages. He's like, and then you go to social media, and I got, you know, and he's pretty popular artist, so he's got, you know, easily thousands and thousands and thousands of notifications on every platform when you put them all together every day. And he says, you know, I got all those, and it's probably, again, even if it's 1%, who cares? It's 1%, right, of like and it's not even that usually. You're talking about, it's not even 1%, it's like one person, you know, or two people. Like it's just so few, small amount of people. And he's like, what in the world do I look like? I got a missed call from my aunt, you know, I got a missed call from my boy that I went to school with or whatever. I got text messages from things that I'm supposed to, and then I got which these are all good things, you know, there's things I haven't even responded to yet because whatever. And then I got all this love in my comment section and all this love and DMs and all this stuff. And I'm going to go straight to the shit that's wrong. I'm going to go straight to the person that's feeding poison into my life. And I'm going to give that person my time. I'm going to give that person my energy. It was like one of the dopest. This is my wife.
Some people are saying hi to me in the chat, so I want to come up and say hi.
There's the camera if you want to look into it.
I was watching his reaction on Pale Horse downstairs while you guys was up here.
Oh, okay. This is Sheezus. I don't know if you know Uncle Ray. This is my wife, Sheezus.
Hi, Uncle Ray.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. You awesome.
This is the better.
Thank you. You like the reaction?
Yes. You be talking to people in your room, like imaginary people, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Because the first time I watched you, I thought you were talking like some people like sitting there watching you or something.
That's a whole character that I had to bring up.
That's hilarious.
Thank you.
That's my better half.
That's awesome.
You could just finish the interview with her. You'll probably have more people in here. Yeah, that I remember. He said that was like 2 years ago. I was in an interview, he was sitting down in like an interview down in Miami, and I was at it with a friend of mine, and I just remember because I go through it too. So I'm sitting and I'm just not. It's just like how you said, like you're like on a, you know, like I go through it, but not on your. That's why I say ain't no. I mean, there's levels, but it ain't. At the end of the day, if it's the same problem, it's the same problem, man. I get
the same problem. You
talking about the weight of it, and maybe more. Okay, cool, but like whatever, man. It's really. You know, I was like, when he said that, I was just like, dog, yes. And what am I doing? Like, why do I, you know what was something I wanted to do? So I found out, and you know how to do this because you're a creator on YouTube. So, you know, but you know, you have YouTube, Studio, you know, you got the Studio app on your phone. So my homie showed me this. He's a YouTuber. His name's, Alpha Tyler. He's my DJ. He's my like DJ when I do shows, but he's also a reactor and a YouTube guy. I met him through that, and then we became friends, and that's how I ended up being my DJ. But he showed me YouTube Studio, and you know, you can do it on your computer, you can do it on a phone, and he just showed me like the comment thing. You know how you can just look at it. I didn't
easily get into it.
I didn't know this was like a thing, but I love it. I love it because it's every single comment for every single thing on your. So you could have a comment from a video that you dropped, your very first video 5 years ago or something, and it can be a comment, or it could be a post you just made 5 seconds ago, and
you'll get everything.
Yeah, and I was like, yo. Because I used to just go to the video, the latest video that I did, and I hit newest comment, and then I go through and man, when I tell you, I'd spend hours just refreshing and going and looking through all because I tried to respond to every single like literally respond, like read the whole comment, even if it was like a super long, read the whole thing and then be like, man, okay, what should I don't want to just be like, thanks, man, that's what's up. Like if somebody just poured their whole heart, like
right.
Like, I'm like, and so what I really want to do, man, is I want to just go through my YouTube Studio and just catch up on all my comments, bro. Like since I started, like until literally, like just go through.
That would be crazy. That would be crazy.
That's what I want to do because first of all, I want to show all those people love that have shown me love, and even you know. Like, and I know it's going to be so weird for people if I do actually do that and get all the way back to like 5 years ago comments. And I don't even know if it keeps them that long. Honestly, I don't know. But like
I could go all the way back to about 1.5 years, and then I just stopped reading because I read so damn much.
Yeah.
But I want to do the same thing. I try to answer every single thing as soon as I go to the comment section. But like my psychiatrist told me that, yo, get away from the comment section. She's like, because I'm getting a lot of negative and all that other stuff. And she's like, you're feeding into that negative. And I'm like, I haven't answered nothing. I haven't said nothing to nobody. It bothers. So she was like, just stay away from it. Try not to look. So right now I'm like literally minimum going over it. And then I take one day and then I'll start answering to all the positive ones and trying to show as much love back to every single person. Because like we said, man, without them, we won't be here. Without them, we won't be where we're at right now.
Yeah. And that's what I'm like, man, I'm trying to figure out how to do that. Cause I have insanely crazy OCD too. So like there's part of me that just drives me crazy that there's like tens of thousands of unresponded to comments and messages and DMs and and I'm just like, I want to answer all of them. I want to
yo, Mesus, when I tell you, bro, it's like I'm talking to my twin. It's not even funny, bro.
That's hilarious.
Like I'm the same exact way. Like if I see an unread comment, I'm like, oh shit, man, I should go back. Let me go back and go I have to hit that heart. I have to hit that thumbs up in their comment, and I gotta go and give them some type of love. And then on the long ones, I'm in the same boat because I'm just like, what do I say? Like I just answered like 17 comments right now. Like, what do I say? Oh my God. Then I'm sitting there and stressing about, I want to say something good to give them that positivity that they gave me back.
Yeah,
I want to give it back to them.
Give them back the same energy. And the thing is, it's like, it's I want to do something that I want to at least, I don't know, man. To me, I know the people know that it's impossible. There's one person and however many hundreds of thousands of people in comments. I know people understand that it's just not literally possible for a person to just respond to everything. But I really want to make so what I've really learned is like what I'm focusing on now is just I'm trying to make sure in every post that I do post that I really make it clear, like, I really want people to understand like how much I appreciate it, man. Like, I want people now that I'm like, I've kind of just taken the floodgates off. I'm like, whatever, man. I'm just giving y'all everything as far as social media goes. I'm just gonna give y'all my life. I'm gonna whatever. I'm being more like, okay, man, this is, because I feel like that's my response in a way, because I show up the next day and do it again. That's my response back to the comment. You know what I mean? And them hopefully understanding, like, if I hit that heart on that, that means I read it. You know what I'm saying? If I or at least, and even if I can't even do that much, it's like, again, if I show up the next day, that to me is and if I start seeing my numbers just go down, you know what I mean, to where like nobody is following me anymore, then that means those people are like, well, that's not good enough. You know what I mean? But if it goes up the other direction or stays where it's at, then that shows me like people get it. They understand, like, okay, they're here because they want me to create. They're not necessarily as concerned about, getting that response back as much as they are like the response back is, man, when someone says, I love what you do, keep it up. They don't need to hear me say, thanks, man. My thanks back is, I'm gonna keep it up. I'm gonna do it tomorrow. I'm gonna drop another song next week, or I'm dropping another album in 6 months, or what, you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna keep it up. And that's something I'm learning. But it's like, I'm just the type of person, if somebody compliments me or says something polite, I feel rude as shit if I don't stop and say, thank you, So it's like, I'm learning, like, okay, man, I gotta find a sanity balance here where people and so, but it's tough, man, because you don't want to get you got to find that balance, man. That's where I'm at right now, is learning balance.
And you know what? In your mindset, the way you are right now, the way I've heard you talk, and I've heard the lyrics and everything, and the way you are a man of faith, and you know that God's got your back.
100%.
So as long as you know that, you good, baby.
100
That's
million,
all you need.
100 million billion%. I shouldn't even be alive. Yeah, I know God's got my back, man. It's
Now the name Mesus,
yes, sir.
is that like me and Jesus? Is
Yeah,
that like a
Yup, it means Jesus in me.
There you go.
So there's a bar that I wrote that on a song that I haven't released yet. It's called Blasphemy. And I said, I'm not Jesus, I'm Mesus. I'm just trying to stand for believers who know we ain't perfect, but he is. And that was when I picked that name. I wrote that in 2018. So I kind of have this really crazy long journey of names that I've been through. My real name is Charles. My grandparents called me Charlie growing up. So for a long time, I went by, just Charlie as a kid. And then I kind of picked up a nickname of Hustle from some friends. And so like my first nickname, I guess you could say, that I had was Charlie Hustle. And then when I started like really being a rapper at a very still young age, like 18 years old, I was like, well, I need a rapper name. I need the name, you can't just use your name. And Charlie Hustle was almost like my name. So it's like, I don't know.
Right.
Like, I don't know. Just like whatever, which I think is a cool name. Maybe I should have just ran with that one and kept it. But
Charlie Hustle is fire, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, man.
Yeah.
That name is fire.
And so Devious was a name I ended up picking. And I went by that for a while, stood for dope vocal skills, DVS. And then when I gave my life to God, I remember like the very next day, literally the day after I gave my life over to Christ, and I woke up and there was this little small pocket dictionary on a shelf. I was at my uncle's place, and I opened it, I read it, I looked. For some reason, I woke up that morning, literally the day after I gave my life to God. I woke up and read devious in a dictionary, and I was like, yo, I do not like the name devious. I looked up, it was directly under the word devil. It was literally the word directly under the devil.
Wow.
And it meant like deceitful and tricky and all that. And I was like, nope, not doing that. So then I just flipped to the beginning of the dictionary, because I was already in the dictionary. I got like 2 or 3 pages in on the letter A, and the word absolute. It said pure, free from restriction, definite. And I was like, yo, that's dope. And I chose that name. And I was like, that's the name I'm going to use when I rap. And I went by that name for almost like 13, 14 years, 15 years, maybe even, like literally from like 2000. This was like January 2000 till sometime into like 2014.
Man, you had it for a minute. You had that name for a minute.
I went by that name. That was the name I went by. And then I just started to feel like this transition, I guess, in my life, man. Like I was a shift was happening, and I just I felt like kind of pulled away from that name, but I didn't have like this name that was clear to me. So I just went by my government name, my last name, Cosetti, and I just went by that for a little bit. And then I thought maybe CJC, like my initials, and it kind of meant like see Jesus Christ. So it's kind of like a play on that.
Play on word.
Just,
Yeah,
just
that's
like
fire.
the DVS, like it was like, okay, that's the full circle. I flipped, and it was dope. And I was already creating social media for that name, and I was starting to be like, okay, I think that's what I'm gonna run with. And then, like I said, that was when I ended up writing that bar. And I was like, yo, Mesus, like, that's hard. Like, that's different. Like that, because CJC was like cool, but like part of marketing, something that I've learned about marketing, again, branding, if you want to call it that, part of branding or whatever, is bro, you don't, no, rule number one, not every. I'm trying to look at the camera when I say this. I'm looking at you, man. So if it looks goofy,
I got you.
You're here and the camera's here. So I'm sorry if that's throwing people off, but but yo, you're not that special, and not everybody's gonna love you. Your mother loves you, and maybe your wife or your husband or whoever. Like, I'm telling you right now, not everybody's gonna love you. So if you're trying to create a brand, if you're trying to create some kind of business, if you're trying to market yourself, you're trying to do that, understand this. You're never going to get everybody to love you. So just stop trying. What you need to do is find something that makes people make a decision about you. You have to make people make a decision. They either like you or they don't. The worst thing you can do is be forgettable if you're trying to brand yourself. If they hate you, guess what? They're going to talk shit about you. And that's fine, because that's free advertisement, because they're going to go and talk shit. And guess what talking shit does? Makes people come back and go look. And those same people they talk shit to might end up becoming a fan of yours or go buy your brand or whatever the case is. On the flip side, they're going to love you. I've had Christians want to fight me at true story. I've had like at gas stations and restaurants, because I have this hat. It's right here. I have my Mesus hat that I wore a lot. And I'll have a hoodie or whatever. And there's Christians that would think it was blasphemous, which is why that song I'm talking about, I call it blasphemous. They think I'm saying like, I'm Jesus, I'm Jesus, like Mesus, like I'm God. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, wow.
But I've had people get pissed off and want to fight. And I laugh and I get so happy, because I'm like, I love you, because you were pissed off because you thought I was mocking God. You know what I'm saying? Like, you were taking a stand like, nah, bro, that ain't cool. You know what I mean? And then once I tell them what it means, they're like, yo, I love that. You know, so
yeah.
But it was something that made them feel some type of way, you know, and that's the thing is, CJC, nobody would ever want to fist fight me in a gas station over that. Nobody would ever, because they would have never known. They would have just been like, oh, okay, CJC. But Mesus is
It's something that pops, something that grabs your attention right away.
It grabs your attention, and it's like, what the heck? What is Mesus? And then when I tell people what it means, they either love it or they're like, nah, that ain't my thing. But it's a decision. It's like, and the thing about me is, what it means is Jesus in me, but it's also me like, listen, I am not perfect, man. I am so far from it. And I think there is this really bad stigma around Christianity or around people of faith or people who believe in Christ or whatever term. I just call myself a follower of Jesus. I have a song called Christian. It talks about all the labels and all the things that we hear about Christians and what they are and what they aren't and what they believe and what they don't and blah, blah, blah. And to me, one of the worst stigmas is that, you know, people, I'm the person that's standing in the middle, and I'm standing in the middle between unbelievers and believers, because I've spent enough time on both sides of that fence, you know, so to speak. Right. I was never like an atheist. I grew up south side, like south suburbs of Chicago, like 30 minutes from Chicago, like Calumet City's where like a lot of my family's from. Joliet's where most of my other family's from. These names probably mean nothing to people who don't know Chicago, but basically 30 minutes from downtown. So it's all Catholic was what I was gonna say. It's all, so it's like you're just right. You're from there, you're Catholic, you know, and so I always had this like belief that there was a God. But my point is, like, I've been around killers, man. I've been around drug deal. I've been that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've been in that life. I've been around that. So I'm the person that got out of that. God rolled his sleeves up and pulled me out of literally a pit of hell, man. My stories, you know, I mean, there's people have way crazier stories than mine by far, I'm sure. But I lived a lot of shit. I've seen a lot of shit. And I'm the guy that's standing. But I got out of that, and I got really engulfed in the church, because it was like a hospital to me, man. I came out of like a war, and I found God, and I get in the church, and everybody's just like Ned Flanders on steroids, you know, and they're just like,
Right,
okay,
right,
bro,
right,
I love
right.
you. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Don't hug me, you know what I mean? And it was such a culture shock to me. But then you're around long enough, and you're like, okay, I really like this is good. I like people being nice and loving me, and
Right.
You're gonna actually pray for me. And why are you giving me this food? Like, you know, because why did you pay my rent? Because I couldn't make rent. Like just loving on people, like. But then you live in that culture long enough and you start to understand people like that are just as jacked up too, because they put their smile on Sunday morning, but then they go to live their life all the rest of the week. And, you know, they're flipping the bird to the guy that cut them off in the church parking lot on the way out. You start to see the humanity in that too. And so Mesus to me represents something that's standing in the middle of both of that whole fucking tension. And being able to say fucking tension and not feel like, oh my gosh, you're such a, like literally even that, like I'm the guy that's standing and looking at the church and calling bullshit on both sides. Like the church, okay, you're on some bullshit here, but the world too, because there's a lot of people that are outside the church and they're like, you guys judging. Really? Have you ever been in a church? Well, no. Oh, the Bible's got a bunch of stories and have you ever read it? Well, no, you know, like
exactly.
And so I'm kind of standing in that tension, bro, and that's why also it's been hard for me to find a lane that I fit in because I'm not a Christian rapper, you know what I'm saying? I'm not a country rapper, you know, which is a lane that both of these lanes I could have easily hopped in 2013 when I changed over to like just kind of being my government name and stuff. There was this huge shift in me, and like there was a part of me was thinking, man, maybe I just need to make Christian rap. I've been doing it for a long time, over 10 years, 12 years, and I started to understand the evils of the industry and the things going on. No Diddy, you know, like all this stuff going on. And I'm like, man, maybe God has purposely. I mean, I have meetings. I'm talking about meetings with Russell Simmons, Jay-Z, and L.A. Reid the same day. And I had a manager that literally the day of, you're not going. Like I had the rug pulled out for me so much. I met Jay-Z in person at a Nets game, gave him my demo. Like I've met LL Cool J in person. I can go. I mean, you know, and nothing ever happened. Like I always kept, and I knew it wasn't. And I say this humbly, man. I was trying to sound arrogant. I knew it wasn't my talent. I knew it wasn't the production that I was working with Grammy producers since I was 20 years old, bro. My homies have produced for Ludacris and Biggie records and just all sorts of like I knew it wasn't me. You know, it's like it's not me, it's not you, it's me. Like I knew it wasn't, but I couldn't get in. And then I really had this awakening where I always tell people I started taking God more serious, even though I was like saved, born again, gave my life to Christ. I was there, but I was kind of like a checkbox Christian. Like I went to church on Sunday because my life was so radically different from what it was before I found God. I thought that was it. So I kind of turned it into a religion. I went through this long period of just going to church and that was about it. And then God kind of rattled my cage. And I tell people, man, I really started to take my walk with God serious. In other words, when I wake up, bro, I pray and I talk to God. I don't talk to the fucking ceiling. I don't talk to a book. I talk to the living creator of this of me and of this. Like I have a relationship. Absolutely. And I walk. So I started taking my walk serious when I realized, oh, I'm walking through a fucking war zone. Oh, that's what I'm walking. There's an enemy. There's a real devil. There's real evil. And once I realized that, then I really started kind of like, maybe I'm supposed to be like a Christian rapper. Maybe that's where I fit in. And I went through kind of like looking at that and doing that, but it just never felt like it fit there. And then, like I said, Adam, he bubbled and got into the country lane, you know, a handful of years later. And then I started kind of feeling like maybe that, but I was like, man, I'm not a country dude. You know, I don't want to, right. I've never been a dude to try to appropriate and all that. People say like, I've never tried to be fake, man. It's like, just like, that's why me and Adam did make it through the Chicago scene and have have the story to tell, because we weren't being fake. We weren't trying to be something we weren't. We were just like, but bitch, you're going to respect us. We can rap our fucking ass off. And that's right. We're standing on that business. We didn't come here to fuck. Don't worry. We ain't trying to take your fucking drug spot and shit. We ain't trying to, we ain't on some GD or, Kings or Vice Lords or whatever, P Stones. Like, we're just here on our shit, like trying to rap. And that's it. And like, so because I've always been true to myself, I've always made it through this hip hop thing, but I never really found where I fit. And as an independent artist now, I'm like, you know what? I'm starting to just create my own lane. And that's the beauty of it, is you're allowed to do that. You're allowed to do that because I don't have no label telling me, no, dress like this. No, make this song. No,
Right.
write these words. Nah, bitch, I'm gonna write what the fuck I want to write. And
you know what? It's crazy because I was gonna ask you, how does it feel right now that you pretty much are in control of your business, of your company, of Mesus, that stamp, that name, that corporation, that you have hands on everything? Does that help you with the writing process? Does that help you on when it comes to creating the actual music, or does it get in your way sometimes? Because I know, life is life, and shit happens in real life, and sometimes it gets in the way. But when it comes to saying, okay, I need to come in here and I need to go right now, does that affect anything in that pen?
No, man. It's like being able to control what I'm doing is the biggest, like, man, it's like I feel like all the weight has dropped off of me, and now I'm just free. I can just, 50 Cent did an interview years ago, and people said, when you got rich, did you find it harder to keep making music? Because now where's the motivation, right? And he said, no, it's easier now. He said, because when you're poor, you have all this shit in the way. You have all these hurdles. You can't afford this, you can't afford that, you can't afford. So you're struggling just to get the necessities so that you can then do it. He's like, now I have more than necessity. I have everything I need as far as necessities, and times a million. So like me, it's like, oh, you're going to give me free reign and I got control, and I actually have a little bit of capital to now do it the way I want to do it and everything. No, it's on now. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, this is I'm just getting warmed up, to be honest, bro. Like, I mean, I've been doing this for forever, and I've even had a career in this for a little minute now, but I just got stressed. You know what I'm saying? Like, pause. I'm just like, I'm like, okay, now let's get it. Y'all about to really meet Mesus. You know what I mean? Like,
and that's exactly what we like to hear. That's exactly what we like to hear from any artist. It's like, you guys want it, I got you. Don't even worry about it. We're at an hour. I don't know if you want to keep on going or you want to cut it off here. We didn't talk time, and that was my bad. I didn't talk time with you before.
Bro, I mean, if you got questions or anything, or the chat has questions or whatever, I'm not in.
Let's open it up to the chat. Let's do that if you want. We can open it up to the chat. Chat right now. If you got any questions for Mesus, right now is the time to do it. We are taking questions right now. Please, if you haven't yet, please go and stream, watch, like, comment, and do all that on the Pale Horse album, both Mesus and Adam Calhoun's joint album. Fire from front to back. I did the reaction today of the music video that you guys just dropped today.
Yeah,
for Pale Horse.
I haven't seen it yet, but I'll check it out.
Oh my god, bro! Like the visuals. I was saying it in the reaction, and I said the visuals is simplistic, but it doesn't matter how the video is shown. It's how the video is delivered. When it came to production, when it came to just the atmosphere, the area, the seating of you guys, and all that stuff, the camera caught it so good, and the production behind it made it so good. And I was like, and that's what makes an artist a good artist. Not spending $10 million on a music video. It's how you shoot it and what point you're trying to put across. On the music video. And it was self-explanatory. So when I saw it, I was just like, bro, now we talking right here, because I love that song. Pale Horse, that's one of my favorites from the album. And then I saw the video, and I was like, that's all that it needed. It's all it needed is that video right there. And
That's funny.
it didn't take $1 million to go through that video, but it was just the way it was delivered by you and Adam. I was just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I love this. That I made that song jump up in list to like number 2.
I love. So it's funny because as much as I love a video like Mirrors or like something super high scale, super movie like it's looking, yeah, that video is just super. It's just that it's just raw. It's just a
Yeah.
raw video.
That's the word that I was looking for.
Yeah.
Is that it was so raw that it made the bars hit harder.
Absolutely.
And then it made me go into like a fucking 15-minute rant. But it is what it is. It is.
No, I love it, man. I love it. Yeah, we the funny thing about you saying like it didn't take this huge budget is like we almost didn't shoot it like that. We almost, not that we spent crazy, but we almost spent a lot of money trying to get into this. Like one of my friends, his family owns a bunch of haunted houses. I've shot a lot of my videos in them. And so I was hitting them up, but it was like last minute. I literally was hitting them up like the night before, and I'm like trying to get in, and finally, like I was like, dog, I would, because it's his brothers, one of them owns. I said, tell him I'll give him $1,000 more than cost. You know what I mean? Like, so if it's $1,000 for the day or whatever, tell him I'll give him $1,000. Like I was like, bro, we got to get it done. Adam was leaving for tour the next day. So I was literally like, it's it. I got today. We got to get it shot today. And he finally was able to he's like, well, my sister's spot. And he sent some pictures. And I was like, his sister's spot is not what his brother's spots are. Like his brother has some like spots that are just in like highest level, crazy, like movie level production shit in there. And not that his sister's is bad, but it's not the same quality. And I was like, and I was trying to force myself to be like, nah, let's do it. But then, we just didn't do it. And that's the funny thing is instead we just hopped in the truck. We're like, yo, let's just go around town, dog. And let's just go. We'll figure it out, dog. We'll find a spot. We'll figure it out. And that's what we did. That's what that video.
That right there shows that God works in mysterious ways.
Oh yeah,
like you said, you could have gone that way, but that song needed that video the way it was shot.
And I guarantee you wouldn't have liked the video that we would have shot as much because it was not that nothing we're gonna put out is gonna look trash.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? We're gonna put that polished touch on it, but like it wouldn't have been what that was. That song needed that style of video, and I'm so glad that we did it the way we did, and it came out the way it did because it's kind of like Lightweight, my favorite one, and it's crazy because there's like so much production value that we put into some of these songs, the videos. But
we got the first question from the real Dracula, and the question is, who is Mesus? But if you want, like, for the people that are new that don't know who you are, in short words, if they ask who's Mesus, you tell them what?
Man, Mesus means Jesus in me, and I'm kind of like I just said, I'm that person that stands in the tension between like there's a quote that says every sinner has a past and every saint has a past and every sinner has a future. I'm the guy that stands right in the middle of that. I'm the sinner that has a past, the saint that has a past, but I'm also the sinner that has a future because I'm, by the way, saint, and for those who think that that's some kind of like, whatever word, the word saint in the Bible, literally, that's what the early believers called themselves. Like that was like someone calling themselves a believer or a Christian or whatever. So it don't mean I think I'm any kind of special nothing. The reason I even chose Saint Mesus for my handles is because I wanted a name that was like a person, like a personal thing instead of like Mesus Music, for instance. And Mesus alone was like taken on a couple spots by like nothing crazy, but it's just for whatever reason someone had that name. So I ended up picking Saint Mesus, and that was open on all platforms. So that's who Mesus is. Someone who's I'm trying to show the world God, and I'm trying to show people in the church, hey man, like it ain't us versus them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Don't forget where you were before you found God.
That's beautiful. I love that.
Thank you.
Love that. Next question. How much beard hair is in your studio? This man is wilding.
Yeah, that's the homie.
Oh man.
Not as much as that is in your shower drain, bro.
Oh, that's crazy. You got to get that one of those. What is this called? Snake. You got to get one of those snakes to get that shit out there. I hate using this shit. It's always disgusting crap that comes up. We got another one.
You're like, what
Reese.
the fuck? How is there a Cheeto in here? Like, what the fuck? Who's
Now,
eating?
low key, I did that. We were renting a spot before we bought our house. We rented a spot, and I did that because the drain was clogged. When I pulled out, I was like, nah, they're going to stay right the fuck there. I don't even want to see the rest of that.
Piece of pepperoni. Like, who's eating pizza in the fucking shower? What is happening?
Ain't nothing wrong with
Well, I
eating
got a question
pizza
for
in
you.
the shower.
I got a question for you. Have you been to Chicago?
No.
Okay. Because everybody says Chicago and they think automatically like deep dish pizza, you know, because that's like whatever, but like it's not like it. That's like a touristy thing, you know what I mean? But I was gonna ask what kind of pizza you like, because I love that like slice that's like the size of your fucking face, and it's just
that one. That's my favorite. And you know what's crazy? I went to New York a month and a half ago. I went to New York for some business, and I haven't been back home because I live in Florida now. So I haven't been back home in like over
Florida. Okay.
Yeah. In over like 20 years, I haven't been back home.
Oh, shit.
So this is my first time back to New York because I left New York when I was 20. Yeah. And I went there. I was like, the first thing I got to do is get a slice. I need to get a New York slice. I haven't had one in 20 years.
Have to.
So I go and I got the people that I'm doing business with. They set me up in a hotel in Manhattan. Okay. So when I come out of the hotel room, there's like 4 or 5 pizza spots. And I'm just like, I go in and I'm like, this isn't New York pizza like that. That's not how that rocks. I'm like, that doesn't look nothing like New York. and then somebody outside told me, he was like, nah, bruh. He's like, all those mom and pop pizza shops is in Brooklyn and all that.
You gotta go to the boroughs, bro. You gotta go.
He said, you know, I was like, what you talking about? I'm like, dude, like I've been in Manhattan. There are mom and pop pizza shops everywhere. He's like, ever since they started gentrifying shit, they left out of here, dude. They went about to Brooklyn, to Queens, and everything. I'm just like, so I'll be eating this cardboard pizza, and I'm just like, man, fuck. And I was only there for 3 days, so I was like, I didn't have the time with what they wanted me to do over there. I didn't have the time to go all the way to Brooklyn to go get a slice and come back. So I was like, oh my God.
So my heart. I feel your pain. Like it's
I'm happy that somebody feels my pain, bro, because that shit hurt. I was in the plane coming back to Florida. I was like, I did not get a fucking slice, bro. Yeah. Like, how did I not do that, bro?
You seen Bronx Tale, right? Obviously.
Yeah.
Ruined my whole fucking lunch.
Reese, my sister Reese, Larry's wife, has got a question: favorite artist right now or forever or all time?
I hate this question, man. I mean, Kanye, man. Kanye's my favorite artist. There's a gazillion rappers that I've been inspired by, and I mean that. Like, I literally can't begin or end the list. There's just too many. Like, Nas, Jay-Z, Eminem, Twista, Scarface, Nipsey Hussle, rest in peace, DMX, rest in peace, Pac, rest in peace, Biggie, rest in peace. Like, there's some West Coast rappers, Dre, some of his stuff, Ice Cube, Eazy-E, down south guys, Master P, like, he wasn't the greatest rapper, but his hustle was just crazy.
Right.
Master
P, there's a lot of talk out there. Master P business mind is ridiculous.
Yeah. And then there's just so many New York guys that, like, I'm forgetting. So MOP, UGK, There's a million Chicago rappers that a lot of you guys probably haven't even heard of, but like, I mean, these guys you probably heard of: Cruise Conflict, Do or Die,
Yes, sir.
Psychodrama. You know, like, so I mean, I was a fan of like real, like there was a ton of artists that Bone, Thugs and Harmony. There's a ton of artists I grew up bumping, but my favorite, just I think like it's not even my favorite. When I hear that question, who's the best? Who I think is the best artist? And to me, it's Kanye, because you got artists. I'm taking everything into account, and that dude
Right.
is just an insane producer. His rapping ability is so like kind of overlooked because he came in as a producer, not just as a producer. He came in as a producer for a lot of people's arguably greatest rapper,
Right.
Jay-Z. So it's like you're like, oh, it's cute. You're a producer rapper. No, like
No, he's a rapper.
yeah, he's a rapper. Like I got College Dropout on the
College
wall.
Dropout was fire, bro.
I got it
I
on the
love
wall
College
over here. I
Dropout.
got a ton of vinyl. But like, I think the rapper that, is like that, I guess I got a special place in my heart that like was like the biggest inspiration early on before I could like say I was a rapper. I'd have to say Nas. I would have to say Nas because that. So, and my favorite current rapper, even though I know a lot of these guys I said are still rapping, but like if it was like artists that I would want to work with, I mean, I guess it would be Kanye, but like I'm being mildly realistic here. Which hey man, anything can happen. But NF, that would be I really rock with NF.
Brother, you and NF on a track, it'll break the internet. I swear to God it will, because NF fan base, we already know what NF fan base is.
Oh, they're diehard, man. They're diehard.
And if that fan base gets a load of you on a track with him,
yeah, no, that'd be crazy, man. And I've been rocking, and I'm not some like whatever you call it, like where you catch on and you're he's famous now. I followed NF on Facebook when he had less than 7,000 followers. Like
wow, so you've been down from the beginning.
The first song I ever heard of his was All I Had, which is literally the first song he ever dropped. Like and the reason why is because, remember I said earlier, like guys like Kendrick or NF or whatever, like they could just drop. I got marketed to. That's how I know like he had a team and everything, because I'm a Christian and I've clicked on Christian like I'll like Christian posts or whatever, Christian content creators. So I was in their target audience when they started marketing him 10 years ago or whenever they started pushing him. And so he literally was popping up in my Facebook newsfeed, bro. Like, and I'm like, who is this dude? And I kind of scrolled. I was like almost like annoyed. It's funny, like I was talking about, because it was just kind of like, this dude is not, I've never followed this dude. Who is this dude? He keeps, and then I don't know, third or fourth time or just whatever. I'm like, oh, let me just whatever. I got 3 minutes, I guess. And I clicked on it and I was just like, holy crap.
Right?
Like, this dude can rap his ass off. And so I followed him, and yeah, I've been
somebody donated me to do an NF reaction for the first time. And when I heard him for the first time, I was just like, what the fuck? And then I started going down his catalog. I started doing his album reviews back to back to back to back. Dude, I love NF. And you and NF together because your cadence and your flows when you rap are very strategic to the beat. And it goes so well. And NF is kind of the same way when he delivers his shit. So both of you on a crazy beat was, oh my God, that would be amazing.
So watch this on the note of a crazy beat, right? Mirrors, right? That beat, would you say is kind of an NFE kind of sounding beat, right? Mirrors,
absolutely.
Right? Yeah. So that beat I bought in 2021. That's how long I've had that beat. So there's a producer, his name's Trunks. Like it's like Trunks, like the trunk of a car. And shout out to Trunks, by the way. That's my homie. I found him in like 2018 because he was posting his beats on YouTube with like NF thumbnails, not like NF's actual videos, but like he would use like an NF picture and write like NF type beat or whatever. And that was the first beat of his I ever found was to the song Christian. If you go look up my song Christian, and it's spelled like Christian and then like apostrophe T. So it's like not Christian, basically.
Yeah, Christian. Yeah.
Yeah. The beat was called Harvest. I remember that. And the beat was called Harvest, and I found that. But so, and I mean, I'm not exaggerating when I say I bought at least 100 beats off of this dude since 2018.
Wow.
So, because his sound is just so. But yeah, it's just crazy because finding that, I was like, yeah, that's a dope. And then like, man, here we are talking about an album that just dropped with a beat that I bought from the guy in 2021 because of the NF shit. So we'll see, man. I'd love to.
That would be freaking dope. Ronnie, that question, I believe he's already went thorough with that question. I'm new to Mesus. What does the name mean? He went pretty thorough on it.
Yeah, watch the interview.
Yeah, if you want to rewind a little bit, like in the middle, he explains what the name means in there. Michael, is your background Italian?
Yeah, Paisan. Yeah, definitely.
He's a Paisan.
My father's Italian. My mother is Native American and Irish. So.
And Snowman Reaction, Scott. How old were you when you first spit on the mic?
Probably, you're gonna laugh at the mic experience, but probably I think I was like 14 or 15. It was at a Six Flags Great America. They had a "Oh Baby You Got What I Need." They had the instrumental of that, and I was like, well, here we go. And I just went in there, and you could like record your own song. Most people obviously just recorded that song like a karaoke thing, but I just freestyled over it. Like I was just like, instead of having him rap, and I was freestyle. Rest in peace, by the way. So that was like I was probably 14 or 15. Me and Adam recorded on a karaoke machine in his mom's garage. Like the first official recording on an actual mic in a studio, I was 19.
19 years old.
I was 19. It was in a closet. That was official booth.
If you don't mind, like I want to give these guys a little taste, so I'm gonna take about 2 more questions, and after that, I think we should close it out with playing that song that we were talking about, the Christian 8.
Oh yeah, let's get it. Yeah, that's one of my favorite. That's kind of like my mission statement in a nutshell. So that's
because what I'm doing, this is a new podcasting that I'm gonna eventually open a new channel to do.
Yeah,
and with the interviews, I'm trying to find a structure of time frames and everything for the actual interview, and then I want to start ending them with playing one track at the end of you guys, so like that whoever doesn't know about you, they can actually hear what's about, how you spit, all that stuff. So
that's fire. The video is crazy too, man. My brother-in-law's in it with his wife and their daughter. It's a crazy video.
TNT Dad, shout out to you, TNT Dad Reacts. If you're not following TNT Dad Reacts, please go follow him. Great reactor. I was up on his page yesterday, had a blast. He asks, Mesus, did Nick ever answer any of your songs in any way?
Nick's. So the reason I took that so personal is because I know his camp. Like I know his producer very well. I have his phone number. I know his people. I've been to his studio a million times. So that's why what he said about white people and white rappers and shit, like I took that shit so damn personal. But did he personally respond? No. But when I dropped Home, which was the second record, which was, a couple weeks after I dropped Guest, literally like 15 minutes after I dropped Home, Jason Crawford, which was the guy that introduced me to that whole camp because he was homies with Big Black, rest in peace, with Robin Big. And that's how I kind of got introduced to all those people. He called me, no bullshit, maybe 15 minutes tops after that record dropped, because it was going, man. Them songs were going. That first one went ham, and then that one, I mean, it was probably 10K and almost in quick, you know. And so he called me, and I pick up the phone. I saw the caller ID. I said, "Here we go." I said, "Here we go." And he goes, he said, "Man," he's like, "You know I love you, right?" And I just started laughing. I said, "Yeah, man, I love you too, bro." He said, "Why you so mad at Nick?" And we just had this really crazy, I won't tell the whole story. We had this crazy conversation. He broke down. I said, "Why is Nick being a racist piece of shit?" That was what I responded back. And he said, "Nah, man, hold on. I gotta," and he broke down his story. So I was supposed to actually go out to meet Nick. I said at home, I'm flying out west. I was going to my homie's wedding out west in California. So I was like, you know, what's up? And I told him, "Yeah, man, let's sit down. Let's set it up." And Jason got sick when it was January of 2020. That was right when everybody was getting the C word. Nobody knew about that at the time because nobody really had info. But he was like, "Dog, I don't know what I got, but you don't want to be a mile from me, bro." Like, he's like, "I can't." And so, yeah, he was like, and I was like, "All right, bet." Like, "Well, if you start feeling better, I'll be in town for a while." Like, you know, so we never sat down to this day, but you know, he never responded in a record. I didn't expect him to respond. If he would have responded, I would have been like, "That's crazy." And not because he's like super famous or nothing, because he's not really like a rapper like that. Like, for him to, if he would have responded, I'd be like, "Yo, that's a bad move, Nick. Don't do that."
Yeah, don't do that to yourself. We got Larry Belafonte, my man Larry. If you don't know who Larry is, please go follow him. His music is amazing. He's got some stuff up in his page, man. You guys, very good entertainer. That's my brother. All my intros, everything he's done out of love, bro. So this is my guy right here.
No.
I have a question. Do you have any advice for artists trying to come up independently in faith, basically to avoid the fraternal industry?
Yeah. Well, first of all, always stay true to who you are, because if you blow up, whatever that means, if you gain success, if you gain momentum, if you go viral, if whatever, in a way that isn't who you are, it's not success. If you gain success being something you're not, it's not success, because now you have to be that in order to maintain that success. So it's the longer road. I promise you, it's the longer road. This is why people sell out. This is why people, but maintain who you are. Understand it's not, Rome wasn't built in a day. It's not going to happen overnight. But if you just get up every day and you make a little progress, and like I said, stay who you are, because your fans, I don't even like using that word, but your supporters, the people that rock with you, the listeners, they are going to resonate with that always. But so like, that's what I'm like, give them your truest you. Give them the most authentic you, because if you build an audience based off of that, you're gold, because you don't ever have to be anything else but just you. And that's, so do that. And you said, as far as the industry and fraternal, man, listen, with social media and with it, be active. Post regularly on social media. Learn how to post on social media. Learn how to present yourself in a way that is engaging to people. Learn how to post engaging captions and study that shit, because if you want to avoid the industry, which is what it sounds like you said in that comment, you have to understand they've given us the industry. We have it. We have social media. We can do this on our own. We do not need a record label. We do not need radio stations. We do not need TV. You have all the tools and resources right there at your access, but you got to learn it. So learn how to use social media, and just always maintain who you are. Be who you are. Don't ever compromise or change up who you are, man. It's going to take longer, but it pays off in the long run, for sure.
That right there, bro. Somebody clip that for me because that needs to be posted somewhere. What he just said right now. That question was answered like a professional. And I feel like I have to get this motherfucker like $20 or something just for that answer.
I try to pretend like I'm a professional every once in a while.
And the last
I blacked
question.
out. What did I say? I blacked out. What did I
You said sometimes you got to slap motherfuckers if you want to get the point across.
Look, man, what you need to do is put a bunch of naked broads in your videos. Get some.
No, don't do that.
Get some 40 ounces.
And that's you know what that's another thing that you guys, the independent artists, doesn't get a lot of credit for. Y'all doing it without having all that crap in your videos.
Yeah, the sex sells shit and all that. Yeah, no,
it's crazy.
My wife's always playing. She's like, I can get in a video. Do you want me to get it? Like she's playing. My wife's playing.
Hell no.
But it's
no, you're not gonna be in no video.
Yeah, but I mean, she always says a joking, but she's like, to like blow me up, like, come on. She's like, and it's just funny. Like, it's funny. I'm like, shit. But she's joking. She's joking. Please, people.
That's amazing. That's amazing. But it's also good to know that you do have that supporting backup, that you do have that ride or die that's going to have.
Yeah, that's what I mean. She's like, I'll take one for the team is my point. So yeah, that's exactly. Yeah,
no,
exactly.
that's still even if she was joking, for her to even say that, dude, it's still fire. Bro.
Yeah. It's I'm telling you, man. Like I said, she's.
I was blessed to get one too, like that, and my wife. She'll push me to the studio. She's like, go do another video or go do. She wants me to succeed in this. That's what she told me. Look, my job pays me good. I got this. Go do what makes you happy. Quit your job and do what you got to do.
Hey,
so I mean,
shout out to the good, strong women, man.
I'm telling you, bro. That without that, I'll probably be in a very bad place. But right now, I'm so blessed to have what I have right now, especially from the support of my wife, my kids, and the Vibe Gang and my family in the internet. I mean, they all have a part to play in my success. I'm just a dude behind the camera.
Yeah, amen. I feel the same thing. Hey, a man who finds a wife finds a good thing, bro. That's scripture right there, bro. So if God said it, it's got to be right.
The last question we have is, how does it feel to be more outside and more like, doing the interviews and, doing your promo run and going out there and promoting the album and all that? How does it feel to get back on it and really get into this promo thing?
It's fun, man. It's fun because when that Nick Cannon thing right after that question, like that was, I was trending. Like I literally, you're talking about a guy who had 672 subs, 600, not 1,000, obviously, just 672 subs. I dropped that video, and within a month of dropping Guest, I had over 30,000 subs.
Wow.
And it was up and to the right from there. And so, but I was trending. So it feels like, again, it feels kind of like a clean slate because since then I've been growing and it's been a lot of, like I said, man, a lot of it has been in a kind of a direction or because of shit that I really wasn't like, cool, man. I'm glad that's doing that, but I don't really want this to be like defining my career, and now it's cool to be back where I'm at with an album that pretty much doesn't have anything to do with any of that kind of stuff. And people are just hearing me rap and like you, for instance, like, oh shit, he's a rapper. Not like, oh, I agree with his stance on this or that or whatever, And again, I appreciate that, but it's just, that's not what I worked my whole life for to have people be like, rap the news for me. You know what I mean?
Right.
I want to just be acknowledged as an MC. You know what I mean? And have my place wherever it is in the game. I don't need to be the whatever, man.
And just right there, that mentality. And you said the perfect word. You said MC. You didn't see a rapper. That should be everybody that picks up a pen and puts it pen to pad. That's the mentality they need to go at. I want to be the MC. I want them to say that I am the best MC that's doing it right now. That should be everybody's freaking goal. That was amazing.
Man, yeah.
We're gonna go play this track real quick.
Let's get it.
If I can find it, there it is.
Yeah, Christian. Yeah. So that's my I almost said my cousin. That's my brother-in-law. That's my wife's sister, brother, Favi, right there.
Okay.
Wife's sister.
Shout out to him.
Shout out to Favi.
Shout out to him. Shout out to him. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a song that we've been talking about. It's called Christian Ain't by my man Mesus. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that. I have Mesus' link under the description to his YouTube page. I also have it in the pinned comment in the comment section. I try to make it as easy as possible for you guys to get follow these guys if you're not following him right now. Mesus, like I said, my brother, thank you so much for honoring me with your presence in my channel. Man, it is an honor to have you here. I like I said, the minute that I heard you gained a fan, and I'm gonna ride this motherfucker with you.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate the fuck out of that. And I mean, you know, I don't know what others say, but just thank you, man. And it's been a blessing to be on the channel. I had a great time. We're gonna have to.
I had a blast.
I'm gonna have to come down to Florida, man, and we're gonna have to go find some New York slices somewhere down there, man. Do they have?
We need to do something, brother, because my mouth. When I told you that story, my mouth was watering. I wanted to go back to New York.
I feel bad right now. Like I feel like me and you experienced a traumatizing experience in life together, and now we need to like rectify that shit. You know what I mean?
My brother, like when I tell you that this page, use it as your promo tool, you're never gonna bother me, and it is never gonna be a problem for me to do anything that you need me to do to promote your shit.
Man, I appreciate you saying that, dog.
Consider this your second home. Consider this where if you want to just jump on live and just vent real quick with me, we'll vent together. I got your back. I got your back on this ride, man. I'm sorry to see how tough it is to be independent and have your own business and try to grow. And I look at you guys as superheroes in the sense of I'm trying to do the same thing, and I see how successful you guys are in doing it. So I see you guys as role models, and you know, whatever is it that you need from me, bro, I got you 100%. Adam knows already. I've been fucking with Adam for a minute. Adam knows already. This is your home, bro. Whenever you want.
Well, I appreciate you, Uncle Ray, man. I appreciate you big time, dog.
You already know it, man.
You, man. And likewise, Mikasa, Sukasa, you ever come out to Nashville, holler for sure. You know.
I'm gonna be close to you guys, but not that close. I'm in a couple of weeks. We're gonna be out there in Georgia, right in the borderline of Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna be up there. We were gonna go to Tennessee, but schedules and stuff like that, it wasn't gonna work. But we're gonna be closer to you than I am now. I tell you that.
They got trash pizza here, but I'll get you some steak or some barbecue or something.
Oh, I'm fucking with the steak. I'm fucking with the steak. Absolutely.
They got some fire steak shops up here, that's for sure. Well, man, I appreciate it, brother. I really do. I really appreciate the time on the channel, man, and all the love, man. And it's been good chopping it up. And I really do feel, you know, the love. So thank you for making me feel very at home here, bro. For real.
Nah, brother, you already know what it is, man. It's all positivity and love in this channel. You're not going to see no negative shit. You're not going to see no, you're going to see me wild the fuck out. I can promise you that. I'm going to say some shit.
I love it.
They might make people a little bit uncomfortable, but you're the one that's watching. I'm just recording it, brother.
Being uncomfortable, man. That's part of life.
Because if that's the case, if I'm controlling your anger enough to comment on us shit, if I'm making you that angry, then go ahead and you got to go to bed by 8 o'clock because that means I'm controlling everything in your life.
Wow.
Fuck out of here. You must be at your rabbit ass mind, man. I'm gonna say what I want to say, and that's why I fuck with like you, Adam, Upchurch, Struggle, all you guys. I fuck with you because you guys stand for the same shit I stand for.
Yeah,
I'm going to say what I want, when I want, and however I want. If you want to follow it, follow it. If you don't even comment about it. Take it over there. Yeah. I understand. Hate is free promo, but why are you even wasting your time, brother?
Yeah.
Like, go that way, man, and we good. We positive lane over here, baby.
That's right. That's right.
We're gonna play it. Mesus Christ ain't.
Let's go.
It's on you. If the internet allows it.
Come on, guys. Hurry up.
All right, hon, we're coming. Come on, baby. We gotta go.
What's that?
There's a snow globe, baby.
What's inside?
Can you hear it?
Church. That's where
I hear it.
Okay.
It's gonna be late.
Look, baby. It plays a song.
Look how we look at each other, judging books by their cover. If I told you I was Christian, how quick you think I would judge you? Damn, I'm supposed to be known by my love, huh? So what's that look like from above, dog? Well, let me go ahead and sit in the seat that's high and tell all you people out there with me it's not gonna sugarcoat it. No, cussing like a sailor. Yeah, talking about a fisherman. Tell me they ain't swear. Fuck. Not a legalist. Nah. Not a homophobe. Nah. Yeah, I disagree. I do. But I ain't throwing stones. I ain't wholly wrong. Look, I'm well aware I'm flawed. No better than you, just better than who I used to be back in the day, and that's all. No MD, no degree, no paper on the wall. Not a doctor, not a scientist. I am just me, that's all.
Right.
No judge, just a witness.
Right.
Give it to you raw. Whatever I taught, trust that I walked. That's all that I done. That's all that I saw. No, not a theologian. Nah. Not a Bible thumper. Nah. And it don't make me a better driver with a fish up on my bumper.
Ah! Why you talking to them like that, Mesus? Why are you talking to them like that, man? That was fire. I like that. That resonated because I was in the Catholic school for eight years of my life. I was in Catholic school, go to church every Sunday in mass and communion and confession and all that. God is my shepherd, and that's it. You leave me alone. Me and God are good. We good. We talk every day, man. I talk to him more than I talk to my wife. So stop playing with me, man. Let's go.
Not a priest, not a pastor, not really sure if I'm preaching, but I'm damn sure not the soft type that'll sit back in these bleachers like, hey, rejection is capped, my stomach and eyes, but not anymore. Not sure why I accept this like I'm not in a war, but you're not my enemy, people. That's not where the battle starts. See, we need to treat the heart of the matter, cause it's a matter of heart. Not cliche, not saying I have all the answers. And hell no, I ain't okay with little kids dying from cancer.
Nope.
Yeah, I cry, but don't ask me why if I can't ask you to what now. Cause with all due respect, definitely catch up to it somehow. Like, step off a ledge, right? Or not, you're gonna fall, like it or not. God doesn't need a permission. He is I am, and I am I'm not. So stop with insanity, man, cannot be who created the universe. Look, you don't like how he runs it, well, tough shit. Truth hurts. Kinda like
Talk to them, Mesus. Stop talking to them like that, bro. How much hate did you get for this song?
Love, bro. I mean, I got
all love.
I mean, I'm sure there's some hate, but it was
Okay.
a lot. It was a lot of like, thank you for saying this, man, because
because you're saying everything that everyone else is thinking. That's what it is. It's just all of us that's been raised in that structure of going to church every Sunday and start getting into a rhythm of doing this all the time. It loses its meaning because now it's a chore. It's something that we have to do.
It's religion, bro. It's not a relationship.
Exactly.
That's the difference.
But
bro.
like me and you talking about it right now, this is fellowship. This is church. We're speaking what we believe, and it is what it is. And if you don't like it, no problem. That's cool. I'm pretty sure there's a reactor up there somewhere or an interview happening right now that's talking about Diddy. So go watch that.
Yeah, for sure. That's happening.
Yeah.
like being crucified, but hey, it's cool if I spill out lies so that you and I don't feel, cause our two views collide. So instead, continue these dialogues about the blue and sky, what we do 9 to 5 till we use all the time sign, then a short little few to lives and then die. Can't do it. All this arguing so damn foolish. I don't care what color Jesus was. All I know is that the man's Jewish. All I know is God became man.
Yes, sir. I don't know what color he was, man. I was born in '84. What the hell are you asking me for? No, man. That's my G right there. That was hard. I like that. This is the Catholic boy right now screaming, "Yay, Mesus!" I'm just telling you right now. That's what this is, man. The Catholic boy in me is screaming, "Yay, Mesus, talk that." I want to say this to one of the nuns that I went to school with. Oh my God. Let's go.
Try dialogue, but
Let's
as soon as got
go.
what we do 9 to 5 till we use all the time sign. Then I saw a little few to lives and then die. Can't do it. All this arguing so damn foolish.
Right.
I don't care what color Jesus was. All I know is that the man's Jewish. All I know is God became man, cause man tried to become him. Every race got red blood, that's why it's blood that covers sins. You'll never win with these conversations going back and forth about denominations. Nations rise up against nations, signs of the times got more blatant. Hey man, I'm not the one, I'm not the son, not even close. I don't love idols, I don't love titles, and I ain't bound to no pope. I don't worship jewels, I don't worship jewelry. I don't worship rules, I worship the ruler. He is a name, no level of fame can never top. That's why as soon as you sing his praise, dang, your popularity drops. Coincidence, you don't really know, even though it's happened a million careers in a row. But yo, I'll leave that alone. I'm gonna put it like this, I ain't in love with the list. I just think that I'd be a little pissed if my kids live like I didn't exist, feel me? So chill with the boxes that you put me in. Why you still?
Bro, oh my God. This goes hard.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Loki, I'm about to go. We're gonna make a trip to New York. I'm gonna drive by the Catholic school that I went to, and I'm blasting this across the street. I don't even care if they're there or not. It's just out of principle.
That's hilarious, bro. I was putting it into the universe. I was just putting it out there.
I gotta put this song out there so everybody can know, bro.
Well, this song.
I got a church right next to me. Say I won't do that Sunday morning. Say I won't.
Yeah, this song is, like I said, this song is kind of like the Mesus mission statement, man. This is the definition of what I am. If Free Depression didn't mean as much as it meant to me, my record about depression, the one that I pinned at the top of my YouTube, this would be the record pinned at the top. If I could pin two, it would be this one.
This one goes hard because it's like, oh my God, like this dude is rapping what I was thinking about when I was going through it, when I was going to church and going to the school, and they're teaching me this way, and this is how you're supposed to do it, and it became like, oh, dude, like let me think for myself, like relax. And I've checked.
You see this painting in the background, the shroud. That's a drywall. So that's an 8 foot. Those are big 8 foot, by 4 foot drywall paintings. My brother-in-law that's in the beginning of this video, he painted this, and he did that with chalk. And he's an unbelievable painter and artist.
Oh my God.
But yeah, there's a scene where you'll be able to see like the whole thing, but that's the shroud. That's like he did it like this, bro. He stood there and held a phone looking at the picture, and he was looking at the phone, and he was just like doing it like this. He took a piece of chalk and taped it to a broomstick, and he just was like this. And I mean,
what?
The amount of talent that people have,
it's
that's
amazing.
why I'm like, man, I don't know. We're just, I'm amazed by it. There's so much things that amaze me. So I try to just remember, like, it's cool that I can do this, but like, man, there's people that have unbelievable talents everywhere in the world. We all have talents. It's just, are you going to go and pursue that shit?
That's a fact. That's a fact. That should low key should be on a fucking shirt.
Yeah. We all have talent.
Come out.
Are you going to pursue that shit? That's a reality.
Put it like
that goes for anybody, even if you don't want to be in our industry in the public's eye, even if it's like you want to be a owner of a business somewhere, or do like it could work in any way. Just be you, work hard for it. And I've always said it, the long road is always going to be the long road. It's called the long road for a reason. It's going to suck.
Mm-hmm.
But the outcome is unbelievably more than what you could handle.
Yeah, the payoff, man. That's what you work for.
And that's what it is, man. I love this song.
like this, I ain't in love with the list. I just think that I'd be a little pissed if my kids live like I didn't exist. Feel me? So chill with the boxes that you put me in. Why you standing on the outside looking in? Look at him, took your sin and put it all out on display. While you lock it in and closet acting like your life is great. Okay. This is me, nothing more, nothing less.
Right.
Do I love Jesus? Best believe for sure, yes.
Facts.
But am I still a Christian? I ain't sure. Cause if it's everything I just said that I'm not, then not no more.
I like the way you ended that. I like the way you ended that, bro. Oh, that was hard.
I still
I
have
like
that
that.
church pew. That church pew's in my house right now. I still have that church pew. It's in my front room of my house. I have it. It's like a prayer room I have. So I still got
Nice.
that pew. And shout out to
That's
my homie
amazing.
Spank Boogie, and shout out to my wife because they were literally that's a blizzard. That was like a full-on blizzard. We couldn't even leave. We had to stay in town that night because we got snowed in.
Oh my God.
Shout out to my wife and Spank Boogie for standing behind that wall behind me, and they were just holding that thing up the whole time while we were shooting because we couldn't get it to stay. It was so windy and stuff. It was so they were just standing there holding it. So
You see, and that's the hustle right there, though. That's right there.
that's independent.
That's the hustle right there, man. And then
I didn't have a wall holding crew.
yeah. If you're an independent artist right now and you ain't willing to be out in a blizzard with your wife in the back holding,
that wasn't artificial snow. We were really freezing our asses.
If you don't want to do that, then you don't love it as much as you think you do.
You don't want.
That's dedication. That's love and dedication.
Then go to Diddy parties. If you don't want to. If you don't want to freeze your ass off in the snow, go to
I don't know. That list is getting longer and longer. It's like every day they start adding 10 more names on that list.
Yeah, that's. What do you think? You think he's gonna get locked up? I don't think he is.
No,
I don't think he's going away. I don't think so because why would he have came back? He had no reason to come back. He was living on an island where he could not be extradited from. Why would he have came home? He struck a deal. He ain't going nowhere. Now here's what's gonna happen though.
Oh, you think it's gonna be some Frank Lucas shit?
Yeah, like
they're gonna get him and flip everybody.
Yeah, like I think he struck a deal, and I think one or two things is gonna happen. They're gonna take him down, and he's gonna walk in a jail and
right out,
walk out the back, and everybody's gonna think he's away for the rest of his life, and he's really somewhere just whatever. Which is probably the more realistic thing because they, and I don't even really need to get into all that, but they aren't really in the business of taking down their own people. So I don't see why they would destroy the music industry and all these other people on his list and all, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that's honestly what I think is going to happen. Like, I think they had to have some kind of justice, you know what I mean? Like, so you got to come home, you got to get arrested, you got to go. We're going to have this stupid court, proceeding that's going to be the next month or two or whatever. And then what I think is going to happen is just they're going to, he's guilty. And I think he's going to go in one door and go out the other. Or, because I don't know. I could go on and off for days about a lot of things that I don't believe that, we get told. So I don't think he's going nowhere, man. He's been too good of use, useful to them because they use the music industry to poison people with all this crap and the music, and he was a huge provider of that, and so I just don't think he's getting took out the game that way. But I could be wrong. I don't know. I doubt it though. The headlines have been pretty entertaining. I'll say that.
Oh, they've been hilarious, man. I've been having the time of my life just laughing at it. I'm just like, these people have no thing else better to fucking do, man. Like they leave it alone. Like the way I feel about that whole entire thing, bro, is just like, how is that affecting my day to day, man? It is what it is, man. Diddy's a psycho. We've been known Diddy's a psycho. Now y'all catching up to it?
Yeah. I mean, dude, I think Diddy was. So, fun fact: first song that I dropped under the name Mesus is Rap Jesus. And I said, "M busted Puff out, and motherfuckers think he's playing." like, and that was in like 2018. I said that when M said something about Puffy on, I think it was like Kamikaze, the Kamikaze album or something.
Yeah.
He busted Puff out about something, and I can't remember exactly.
Oh, it was Kill Shot, the diss to MGK. At the end, that he said,
oh yeah,
about the Pac, like the day that you stop rapping is the day that Pac will say that he actually killed Pac.
Yeah. Something, and I said, "M bust the Puff out, motherfuckers think he's playing." Like Puff, everybody's been known Puff is bad news and just involved in all sorts of stuff. But I mean, that's what I'm saying. If he's that connected and he's been in get to able, I don't see him. Why would he have came home? That's the thing. He wouldn't have came home, bro. He was on an island where he could not be extradited from.
And the man is not like the man has any money issues.
Right. Like that's what I'm saying is like it just doesn't make sense that he would have just spent the rest of his life on that island, or he's just stupid and he's let his ego get to him, which is it's also very probable, and he just thought he was untouchable enough to just come home and
see that's where I was going with it. When I saw this whole thing go down, I was going with it with a person that was in power like Puff was in the industry. That type of psychopathic mentality. The only thing that you're worried about is what you want. When you have that type of that personality, dude, it's his ego made him say, you know what, I could beat this, and then come. That's how I was taking it. But you brought me to a whole nother perspective of thinking about it.
There's that. I mean, you're probably more accurate. You know, who knows? But like, I mean, look at King David, bro. Like King David and Bathsheba, and you know that was just pride, bro. That was his right hand man. That was his homie. That was his head of the military that protected him and all that. That was, and he got so prideful, and he knew that was his wife, and he was just like, yeah, I'm David, I'm King David, you know, and he just thought he could do that and sweep it under the rug and nobody would ever find out, and then he ends up sending them out to the front of the line of the war to be killed. You know what I mean? To cover. So all that to just say, man, it just shows the wickedness of the heart and what pride can do when you get to a certain level of power to where you just believe you're basically God and you can just get away with everything, man. And you know, if a man after God's own heart and one of the men that, you know, God used to do mighty great things can do that, I'm not surprised at all. Puffy thought he could just pull back up to New York like, I'm Puffy. Like, and they were like, we don't care. like, I don't, you know, that's very
the way I pictured it is everybody was in their office trying to find a way to get Puffy back to the States and trying to find a way to get this man. And then they get a phone call saying, yo, Puffy just landed on JFK, man. He's about to go to an apartment in New York. What? Oh, we got him now. Yeah. Like they were salivating to get that man in there.
Yo, Puffy brushing his hair on the sidewalk somewhere in New York with some random dude. Like, you saw that video? Like, you see it? I was like, this ain't real. There's no way this is real. And then like a day later, as Puffy's locked up, I'm like, guess it was real. Guess it was real. Like, I was like, no, that's crazy. Like, I don't know what he was thinking, but that was what the first thing that went through my mind as someone like, you know, like, I'm just like, there's no way he had to have worked the deal. Who knows though, man? There's so much shit we have no clue and probably never will know the answers to.
But it's not crazy to think that though, because you can't have that type of money that Puffy had and not have some type of political affiliation with somebody and have some type of pull and some type of, hey, let's work a fucking deal out. I'll give you 90% of that culture. Yeah. And put me in witness protection and get me the fuck out of here. Yeah. And I mean, they cut deals like that all the fucking time.
And he definitely seems like the personality to do that. Like, I would like he definitely seems like he will roll to save his own ass, no doubt. So I wouldn't put it past that. There's so many different scenarios, but like you said, at the end of the day, none of them really fucking impact my life, so I don't really give a shit. Like, hey, man.
And like I get it, it's entertaining to talk about, and all that is absolutely, because that's what it is. It's entertainment. Like Diddy going to jail is the same way of like R. Kelly going to jail. That shit didn't stop my life from going. He deserves to be in that motherfucker. He deserves to rot in that motherfucker.
Yeah.
So like, it is what it is. But I mean,
R. Kelly made me kind of sad though. Like this, I don't fuck Puffy, man. I don't like Puff at all. But like R. Kelly made me sad because he was like a talent wasted. I don't see any talent in Puff. I feel like he's been an evil, just greedy piece of shit that has ruined hip hop so many times. I feel like he was responsible for Biggie dying. I feel like he was responsible for Pac dying. I feel like he's been responsible for just ruining other artists' careers. It's just he's just not a good person. And God forgive me for judging someone, in a way. I'm not trying to really. It's just my observations of what I believe are factual statements. Like, I just don't think he has good in his heart to be good to people. I think he's just a lying snake oil, salesman. It's just. R. Kelly, I think, was kind of a different situation. R. Kelly was a troubled kind of like that dude had a past. He was raped when he was a kid and molested and stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Like I felt at least a little bit of sympathy for him. It doesn't justify things he's done, or no, I'm not saying it does, but at least you kind of understand when you hear the backstory. And coming from Chicago, man, like I know people that hooped with him at the gym. I know girls that he like was with at his parties and shit. So maybe that's part why too, But
no, but it's real talk though, because I mean R. Kelly, that is a talent wasted. R. Kelly was arguably one of the best singers.
Oh yeah,
in his generation. Like we can't take that talent away from the guy.
I wish. You know what I mean?
That man's voice was played everywhere by everyone.
Yeah.
It didn't matter. But then, when you see how the industry gets you, how you putting yourself in a position to let all these demons come at you, and you are only a man and you can't fight them off only up to so much, then you're gonna feed into your thoughts, and then that's where you get R. Kelly and you get Diddy and you get all the rest of these crazy ass people. My wife asked me the other day, she's like, what do you think should happen to the people that are on the list? I'm like, the same shit that happened to Diddy. Get them the fuck out of here. Like, we don't need that in the industry. We don't need that in the culture.
No, of course not. I mean,
anybody level they are. They're like, my boy asked me, how about if Eminem's on the list? Then fuck Eminem. Eminem is my favorite rapper. But if he's on that list, fuck Eminem. Like, he's not expensive for this shit.
Anybody messing with little kids, that's where I cross the line. Like, if you're messing with I don't care what you do in the bedroom, man. That's between you and God and whatever, man. Like, but as long as it's consensual and people are adults, bro, that's your business, bro.
That's what it is. As long as you guys are two consensual adults and both of you want this to happen, then that's on you. Go have fun, enjoy yourselves. That's not my business.
Yeah,
but all that rest of that crazy shit that they're saying and come on, dog, like hell no, bro.
And I know a lot of that stuff it's real, bro, because I know a lot of artists. Like I know artists personally, man, that had advances made at them, bro, by major people, major players like Russell made an advance at a singer that I know. Shit like that, bro. That's real shit, and that's just par for the course, and it really what it is kind of almost like a prison mentality. It's like these people don't need money, so they don't care how talented you are, and they don't look at you like, oh, I can make more money. They don't care because all they care about, all the music industry really is, and the entertainment industry is. So on my song News, I said, they keep you entertained so that they can detain your mind so that something can enter into it. That's what entertainment is. It's detaining your mind so that something can enter into it. They are programming, television programming, telepathic television programming. They are programming you telepathically through channels, which are channels like channeling, right? You
Channeling, yeah.
channeling is it's all like written right there in front of you, man. And so the music industry and the entertainment business and all that stuff, that is not what most people think it is. It is a business that is used to dumb down and control the masses. That is the whole objective of the people that run it. I'm not saying every single person involved knows what's going on and is actively and willingly and knowingly participating in that. A lot, 99% of them don't. That's how they're able to get away with it. That's how they're able to do that, because you have most people that just like, what are you talking about, bro? I just go to a record label and I just enter data into a computer, and I don't go and pray to a Baphomet and all that. Like that's why so many people are like, well, I know someone that works there and they're not doing it. And you get all these people that don't believe it because, yeah, they're not involved in that. It's the upper ups, the top of the top people. But those people, you can't buy them, you can't whatever. They sign artists for two reasons: to use them as a tool to control and manipulate and influence the masses, or to shelf artists if they are becoming too influential and too powerful and too whatever in a way that is against what they're trying to do. That's it.
Right.
That's the only two people that get major label record deals. You know how many artists are sitting on the shelf that will never get, they just shelf them, and they shelf them and they legally do it so that they can't go record nowhere else. They can't go and I know people that have had that happen to them. So it's like, that's when a lot of people don't understand that, man. And like, God really protected me, bro, from getting into the music industry, bro. Like, I fought tooth and nail trying to get in, breaking down every damn door just to find out God was trying to keep me out of that because of all that stuff, man.
That whole situation. That's a fact, though. And
is one of the biggest.
I know that I can speak for myself when I say that I'm happy that God stopped you from getting into the industry and you got it the way you got it.
Thank you, Uncle Ray. I appreciate you, dog.
Because I wouldn't want to see another talent wasted into that machine. I wouldn't want to see another person that came in it with a mentality that they love this shit, and then they get into a hole so deep that they can't dig themselves out of, and they get trapped inside that machine. And once you trap that machine, a few people get out of it in a good way.
Yeah, a lot of them. Me and Adam, bro, we talk about it all the time, man. I don't think either one of us would be here, man, if we would have got into the mainstream industry when we were kids. And I mean, there was so many close opportunities. We were sitting with record labels. I mean, it was a very probable opportunity and chance for that to happen. And you know, I am grateful it didn't happen, because I don't think either one of us would be here. You know, Adam would, whatever. I don't think either one of us would be here. You know, I was gonna say, you know, Adam's always been a little bit, especially back when we were kids, even a little bit more, you know, just temperamental. So like, I think that would have got him into some kind of trouble, you know.
Right.
And me, I'm more like reflective and more, I bottle things up, and, you know, stuff that I would have probably seen and experienced and been a part of or whatever, I probably would have ended up just one day biting a bullet, bro. Cause like, you know, or I would have drank myself to death and probably died in an accident or something, you know what I mean?
Right.
Or drugs, you know, and that's why I feel bad. A lot of these people, you know, people's like, oh, you feel bad for people, their lives, millionaires, and they're slaves, bro. They're complete.
That money, they don't even want it anymore. I guarantee that if you really talk to those artists that are really deep into it,
yeah,
and you ask them, if somebody could tell you right now, we could take all this away,
and you could disappear
in a fucking heartbeat, I guarantee they'll all leave.
Oh yeah, they're slaves, man. They're slaves, but they're scared to speak out, because the reality is that it's just like the mafia. Like, it's funny because people think, oh, you think that shit's real? I know this shit's real. Like, at the end of the day, like, do you think the mafia is not real? Nobody be like, how many mafia members do you know? How many mafia members are you? Well, I've seen stuff on TV. Okay, cool. Like I know Michael Francis personally. The Colombo family. You
Yeah,
know,
the Colombo family. Yeah.
yeah, I know him personally. Like I have his phone number and shit. Like I know that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you think something like the mafia, all this is on a bigger scale. This is people that are control. What I was gonna say is like nobody. You know why nobody crossed the mafia? Because they don't play by the rules. It's not like, Ray, you crossed me, so I'm going to kill Ray. No, they don't. That doesn't hurt Ray. That takes Ray's problems. Ray's problems go away. They're going to torture you by going after your loved ones, you know what I'm saying? Like they don't play fair. They know how to keep you in line, you know, and that's the same way these people move. Like, oh, you're going to make a song and expose this. Oh, you're going to sit down in an interview and expose this. Wow, they did it to Chappelle. Chappelle talked about it.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Took pictures of him while he was sleeping and his wife and stuff, like, you know, leaving like things on his front porch and stuff. Like, this is how they play, bro. Like, you know, and if you don't, the first thing they do is they'll scare you. If you don't, whatever, then they're gonna kind of like give you a slap on the wrist. And that's usually like I don't think to this day, I really don't think Chris Brown beat up Rihanna. I don't think that ever happened because Chris Brown was talking a whole lot about God and Jesus in the weeks leading up to that. About he was tired of the devil running his life. He had like tweeted that and stuff like that. And then that night he got into an argument with some very important like people, like record executive people at a party that they were at. And then they left. And I don't think he beat her ass at all, bro. I think they went home, and I think he woke up the next day as the guy that beat the shit out of Rihanna. I think Rihanna got her ass whooped. I don't think that was fancy makeup, but I don't think he did it. I think they beat her ass, whoever they are, and pinned it on him. And that was the way they like, bitch, we own you. Like, now look what you did. You want to keep playing this game? You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's what what they do is though they have so much power. They know people will forgive and forget. They know all he has to do is go up there and give a story about how, you know, he was abused or what, you know, and people will sympathize. Now you're gonna have to go away for a while where you're not gonna get any, you know, because now we gotta let people forgive and forget and blah blah blah. But your career, because they can still use them, is the point. So what they do is they compromise you though, like they did, I think, with Michael Jackson. I think they did it with Pot. Like, and you go on and on. When you start speaking out, they try to basically make you look a little like not trustworthy, like not reliable. So now that's kind of that crazy dude, DMX.
They did it with Martin Lawrence.
Martin Lawrence
fucking losing his mind on top of a car, screaming, "They're trying to get me! They're trying to get me! They're trying to get me!"
Yeah,
like his mind was completely fucking out of it.
Kanye, DMX. Yeah, like that's what they do. They try to. So now it's like, okay, if they, you know, now if you start talking about anything, now everything you say is like people just dismiss it as, oh, that dude's nuts. He's on drugs. He's whatever. And eventually, and that's just so they can basically find enough time to basically take you out of there if you don't shut up. You know what I mean? Now they know, like, okay, you're, you know, but most people, for the most part, they'll probably get the point and they won't, you know, speak on it. But, you know, anyway, man, it's just a crazy, messy ass industry, bro. So I definitely think all that shit with Puffy's legit, and but that again, like I said, he's been a good little puppet. You know what I mean? So I don't think he gets taken out. I think he somehow like actually punished. Like, I think he gets rewarded, and like maybe that means he has to just disappear. But I don't think he's going away to prison. Like, I don't think that's happening. But what do I know? I'm just some dumb independent rapper.
That speaks a lot of things that make sense. So I mean, that's where it hurts them. When you start making sense, that's when people start getting scared.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is I wrote some shit for Puffy back in like 2005, because my producer, he knew him. He knew Puff. And after Biggie died, they were trying to put together they put an album together. It was like unreleased files of Biggie, and they put a bunch of artists on like to finish the songs off and stuff. And they sent me that one of them, a cappella Biggie, and I wrote a verse to that, and didn't end up getting that placement, which would have been crazy. But they asked they heard it, and they asked if I wanted to try to like write some stuff for Puff instead. So I did, and got responded back later that he doesn't want to use it. It sounds too much like Puff. That was the response I got back from my producer. That's what they told him, and he told me. And I just kind of laughed it off, like, well, who the fuck, like, who's it supposed to sound like? You know, you told me, like, so anyway, I just kind of shrugged it off, didn't think much of it. And then like 6 months later, he's got a song with like one of the girls from the Pussycat Dolls or something like that. And like a bunch of the bars, a bunch of the cadence and shit like that is like, it's, you know, it's what the fuck I'm like, man, y'all bitches. Like, it's just like, I'm this little starving ass 20-something-year-old artist in Chicago. That was my first experience and realizing like, this dude's a piece of shit. Like, you're 100 million, 200, however many hundreds of millions of dollars you're worth, and you couldn't even just break me off like a rack, like a 1G back then to me for that would have been like, oh my gosh, I made $1,000 to write like, you know what I mean? Like, right. You just yoink, thanks. You know what I mean? I'll just cherry pick enough of this where that you can't tell, and I was just like.
But here we go. That's another miracle of God. Look what's going on now. Do you really want your name attached to him?
No,
in any way?
No. And that's the thing is, I was still very, very, very naive, bro. Like I thought the music industry was grimy and cutthroat and blah blah blah. Hello, I'm from Chicago. Like I'm not worried about that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'll be able to take care of myself. Like, I'm not. So I was always like, whatever. I'm not worried about that. I had no idea. Like all that other stuff I just explained, all that other stuff. I had no idea that was a thing. I just thought, oh yeah, they're going to try to get over on. Make sure you read your contract. Make sure man, none of that shit matters, bro. They don't honor that. It's like I said, it's just like the mafia. Oh yeah, get a lawyer. Go ahead, have them read your contract. We're gonna find a way to make sure you do what we tell you. Period. You know what I'm saying? And you also, they always have to make a way to get something on you, some kind of dirt on you. So it's like, if you're a gangster, they always have to have something. It's a sacrifice. It's always like a sacrifice, because that's what's important to them, because that's how they know they control you and their devotion. You have devotion to them and loyalty to them. So for some people, it may be like the like the sacrifice stuff you hear about, like of a family member or something. Like, what are you willing to give up for this? You know what I'm saying? Like, I definitely believe that kind of stuff. But other people, it's like, if you're a gangster, you're really from the streets, you're really a street dude. Like, that ain't a sacrifice for you to like, especially once you're that deep into it, like, your mind's kind of holding, even if it's someone you kind of, because they get in your head and they start making you think everybody's out to get you, everyone around you. You can't trust nobody, your whole family. You're not even like, your own mom ain't your mom no more, because you done changed so much. You done paid so many of her bills. And like, I mean, it really ain't that crazy to think that people would even give up their own mom or something like that. Like, it's just that's how detached away from everything they get you. They get handlers around you, all that shit. But like the gay stuff is probably where they'll take the gangsters, the street dudes, because that destroys everything about them. Like, and it's one of the things where they'll have you walk into a room that you didn't realize you were walking into, or you'll get drugged or whatever the case is, and they got it all on video. Be like, oh, it's a damn shame if this leaked to World Star, you know what I mean, or whatever. And
they'll play it slick too, because I've heard some stories from other artists that are in the industry, and I heard that they'll come to you, be like, hey, I need you to come to the office, we need to talk, and they'll sit you down, they'll get you comfortable. Look, somebody just sent me this video, and this is what it is, and they show it to him, and they're like, I don't want this to leak out. This is the last file. We moved a lot of things to get this is the last file. When all along they were the ones doing it.
Yeah, they create.
And then they'll come and they'll have it on them, and then they'll be like, if you don't want this to leak out, start rapping the opposite that you were rapping last week. Do this way now. And then and it's just a manipulation, and it's sickening, and that's why I root for the independent artists. I always will root for the independent artists.
And that's why I have sympathy for the signed ones, because I could have just as easily became one of them dudes. And it's a trap, bro. It's a trap, and anybody can fall into a trap. And by the grace of God, I had a praying mother and just people around me that were praying, and it's all God, bro. I'm here by the grace of God, man, and that's real. Because I genuinely was doing everything in humanly power to get into the music business. I mean, anything you can think of, as far as like whatever, like just trying to be on the scene to get my music heard by the people that I needed to get it heard by. I was hunting down Jay-Z to try to give him my demo and all. Like, I mean, I had a plan and there was no plan B, and it was like and so it's like I feel bad like for these artists that they thought they were walking into their dream. They thought they were walking into, man, I'm finally going to be able to buy my mom a house. I'm finally going to be able to provide generational wealth for my family. I'm the person that's breaking this curse of poverty in our lives, or whatever their driving factor was, only to find out it's a nightmare, and that ain't even close to what it really is. And I'm not saying everybody that gets signed has to do that, but I'm saying that like it goes that route if you stay in it long enough. You know what I mean? If you play with that fire long enough, I think it will go that direction.
That's a fact, because if you remember about 90, I would say about like 2000, 2002, around there, probably a little bit later, you started to see all these old heads. They used to drop shit all the time. They started to push back a little bit and say, nah, we good, because they started to see what direction everything was going. And they're like, like for one guy, for example, Redman has been the same dirty motherfucker that I've known since I was freaking 14 years old.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't change for nobody. And he's not your average famous dude. He's not your average, industry dude.
Yeah.
I see myself in Redman a lot.
Yeah.
But he keeps it 100 and he keeps it at 1,000. Like, if you see where every time some shit happens and it's trending, Redman will always go the opposite to what everybody else is saying.
Yeah.
And he's not feeding into the bullshit. And he's always keeping it a stack of keeping it 100. But I think that's what stopped him from hitting another plateau like 100%. Somebody else did.
100%. Yeah. There's levels, bro. There's levels. And basically to advance to the next one, you're going to have to sacrifice something that, again, because it's not about money to them. These people that own this shit, it's about control of you. And you have to prove. It's like prison, man. I mean, really, like there's the prison mentality, and like,
like money to them, right? Money to them at this point is nothing to them. They don't even see it as something that they have. It's just part of them.
Money is this to them, because they're just dangling it in front of the artist's face, and then they just
know the background. They know the struggle. They understand what it takes for a person to do it without them.
You're talking about people that literally have wealth. They're not rich. They're wealthy. No. They're billionaires, like with a B, multi-billionaires. Like basically it's not, once you have money to a certain level, like there's nothing. It's just whatever, man. They have like, they're just sold out to evil, and that's what it is, like they're just flat out sold out to evil. And so to them, they're just doing what is natural to them. But yeah, the industry is wild, bro. And they will let you get a taste of it without any crazy shit happening because they want to get you addicted to the taste of it. They want to get you addicted to the fame. They want you to they want to give some time to separate you from the people that actually you came up with, that actually care about you, and start to surround you with other people that don't give a fuck about you, and control them, and kind of start to steer your life away from that, because they want you, and drugs and women and all this other, like they want you. That's how they control you. That's how they start to make you not. That's how they shape and mold you. It's almost like the military, like a boot camp.
Right.
Like they take you away from everybody so they can make you a soldier. They take you away from everybody so they can make you one of their soldiers, except for the war they're fighting is against us. It's against normal people, everyday normal people, because it's evil, man. And it's just that they want to dumb down and control the masses, which is why very deep and thought-provoking music and stuff like that never, it's because keep it simple, stupid. Keep it simple, stupid. And that's the music that everybody, and then now that's why you ask people, how many Jay-Z verses do you got memorized? And they'll be like, well, play it. I bet I know it. You know what I mean? But then you say, how many, JC verses, how many Bible verses do you have memorized? And they'll be like, and it's because they've intentionally made people, and now it's even crazier with social media.
Right.
You got TikTok brain. Straight up is a thing. It's literally a thing. It's like a damn condition. And like the whole point is just making, even like, who fuck is that dude's name? I just seen him today. Prince EA or something like that.
I've never heard of him.
He's a spoken word dude. He does a lot of spoken. He's a rapper, but he went into doing like spoken word. Really smart guy, but he broke down the school system and how basically the whole point of the school system is to create good workers.
Yeah.
And that's why it starts at the same time that most people work. It gets out of this. It's literally just conditioning people to fall in line and literally just be just smart enough to fucking run machines. Be just smart enough to like do our work and do but don't be smart enough to, like, God forbid, start your own business. Don't be smart enough to you know what I'm saying, God forbid, chase your dream and become something that everybody, you're crazy. You're going to be a rapper. You're going to be an actor. You're going to be a fill in the blank. You're going to be an entrepreneur. You're going to start your own business. You're going to create your own clothing line. You're going to like that. That's crazy. Get a college degree. Be a, like, and I'm not shitting on college, but I am shitting on college because college is for 99% of the people that go, it's bullshit. It's if you want to be a doctor, go to college. I don't want somebody cutting into me that don't know what the fuck they're doing. But most of these people, man, like it's just, college was created to just take another 4 years of your life away from you and put you further behind the 8 ball in debt. Well, now I got this piece of paper. Cool story. We don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like that's and
because you get a lot of people that go to college and then when they try to go get a job or do something with that degree, they get a lot of, oh, you're overqualified for this position, which means you're expecting us to pay you this amount of money and we're not going to do it.
Which is the biggest insult in the world, bro. To me, and I tell my son, I said, listen, let's say there's a job that you need, you're gonna find out. You're going to get out of college and they're going to say, cool story, we're still starting you at an entry level pay and an entry level whatever, because we don't give this position, say it's a manager or whatever it might be, until you have 5 years experience. Period. Like, we just don't do it. Period. Like, that's one of the criteria and you're not getting it. So it's like you'd be 80% of the way there if you would have just walked in at 18 years old and applied. Instead of, and Well, what? But I need a bachelor. No, you fucking don't. They just put that on there to weed out fucking a shit ton of applications they don't want to fucking go through. If you walk in there and you knock on the fucking door and you say, "Hey, what's up? I want a fucking job." Well, why should I give you a job? Because I'm gonna be the hardest working motherfucker, and if you give me a week, I'll prove it to you. You know what I mean? And like they're gonna be like, "Okay." You know, fucking okay, you know, and then you do it and you do the work and then you work your way up the ladder. And at this now you get out of college at 21, 22 years old, whatever the case is. And instead of, you know, fucking having to start and now you got to work another 5 years and you're spending that 5 years making the same low rate and trying to pay off a fucking student loan that never goes away. Like never. Those things.
And you're not throwing in everything else that's happening in this person's life.
Yeah. You're getting older. You got all this shit going on. Versus if you're 18, you go in there. By the time you're 23, you have your 5 years of experience. This person who's just getting out of college at 22 only has 1 year of experience. You're the same age now, 20. You know, like, and at 23, you can have 1 year of experience, or you can be 25 and have 5 years, and boom, now you got the job. And it's so much bullshit, and it's like, to me, that's like, you know, it's crazy being on the outside looking in, because I was almost a part of that system that is a part of the bigger system. Thank you, Samantha. I appreciate it. I'm glad you enjoying the album. It is fire.
Facts.
Well, hey man, I don't know. I don't know if you got other shit. I didn't mean it. I'm enjoying the conversation, man.
Oh no, dude, I'm having the time of my life right now. But it is almost 11 o'clock over here, and I got some shit to do tomorrow. So, brother, like I told you, man, this is your home. Yeah. Whenever you need it, is yours, bro. Pause. Not like that. Relax.
I didn't even hear it, so they heard it, but I didn't hear it. I didn't hear the
part. I ain't gonna say it again. I ain't gonna
say it again. Can you please repeat what you said? I'm sorry, sir. Can you?
I appreciate you. This is your home.
Yeah.
Consider it. You got the keys. You can do what you want.
Amen.
I love the conversation. Whenever you want to come back up or promote anything else. Our last question, though, before we get out of here.
What's up?
Do you have anything else coming up? Any tours, any albums, tracks, anything?
Yeah, I'm really like super focused on just this project and making sure that, you know, we continue to just push it, you know, give it the full out there to all of y'all and make sure that it gets out there. And then all I can really say is that I'm hoping to have a solo project out before the end of the year as well. So
let's go.
Yeah, so
let's go.
I don't know exactly what that looks like yet, but yeah, that's the goal, is to hopefully get something out. But I want to just give this attention as much as I want to make sure that you know, because you know, Adam has done a really great job of giving this his energy, like a lot of energy, you know. And again, he could have been the bigger artist, having a bigger platform. He could have kind of autopiloted it and just kind of, you know what I'm saying, like,
right.
And he didn't, and it was very. I've seen that every step of the way. So you know, I'm out of a lot of respect for him doing that. I want to make sure that I also hold up my end, you know what I mean, and make sure that I'm, you know, I don't, because there's obviously a lot of eyes coming this direction. I understand how the internet works and stuff like that, and there's that urge to want to, like, okay, let's put out, you know what I mean, like right away. But like, I want to really, first of all, make sure that people really enjoy this project and get the full life of this one, and let it get all the way out there, and that.
Let them live with it for a little bit. Let them get really into that whole album.
Yeah.
And then come back and drop another one. Because I know for myself as a consumer, when I get a new album from somebody and I really want to dig into it, like I'll have to listen to that album at least for a week or 2 weeks straight in order for me to really, really get into that album and catch everything you're trying to say and catch every metaphor and every bar and just live with the song, with the whole entire album. I won't listen to shit else. I won't listen to nothing else. Like, I want to live with this, because if this is an album of you, especially if this is an album of you talking about you, I want to hear about you. That's the whole point of this.
Yeah.
So it'll make me live with the album even longer when it's like that. But I mean, it's amazing. The whole independent scene right now, I see a lot of people getting a lot of views and a lot of attention. That and it seems like we're coming up a little bit in this independent shit. It seems like we're breaking a barrier right now, because a lot more people getting a lot more vocal and really getting into that mindset as an artist. So I mean, shout out to all of yous, man, for real.
Thank you. I'm in a place where I'm trying to allow this one to breathe enough, but also understand if something is timeless, like people are gonna it's gonna live forever, and they're gonna, 5 years from now still. So just kind of like, what is that period where, okay, let it breathe enough, but also don't, part of this whole thing me and Adam doing is Adam's wanting to help bring this attention that he's got to my, help kind of springboard me. So that's that. I'm in that weird spot. I'm trying to, keep that in mind too, because I know how this works, and like, the algorithms and stuff like that are moving a little better for me, and I want to make sure that I use that correctly, but I also want to give enough. Like I said, I'm in this place where I want to let the album breathe and give that enough respect and let that do its thing and kind of chart its course, but also not wait so damn long that by the time I put something out, it's kind
that
of
momentum is gone. Yeah,
it's like starting kind of like back over again, because I don't, but it's like, I know Adam, one of the reasons that he wanted to do this was for that purpose of helping me, you know what I mean? So it'd be almost like not like appreciating him doing that, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? For that
right.
Purpose of what he did. There was more than that purpose. This was way bigger than that, but that was part of the purpose, because he is the bigger artist. He does have a bigger platform. So it's, hey man, use that shit, bounce off of that.
Right.
So part of me is like, I want to drop something tomorrow, but then part of me is like, nah, man, like, be patient and just. So I'm trying to find the right time, but I don't think, I think it'd be crazy if I didn't have something drop before the end of the year, album wise.
I mean, but that's good that you're really thinking into the whole like chess game of it all, how to move correctly when you have this momentum. And you're only gonna have this momentum for a certain amount of time, and then just to attack at the right moment where you still got some of that momentum still building, and then you smack them with something else, even if it's towards the end of the year, perfect, and then you hit it, boom, and then you just keep on doing. And by the time you know it, you're never gonna talk to me ever again. You're gonna be too famous, bro.
That's bullshit. That's bullshit. That's the first lie you said all interview right there, bro. That's bullshit. Yeah, nah, man. Hell nah. Nah, man, it's been a great time, bro. My wife's gonna cut my balls off if I don't go downstairs, I'm pretty sure.
Do what you gotta do, my brother.
She's cussing me out in Vietnamese. I can hear it from that. No, I'm just playing. But it's been a blessing, bro. And
absolutely.
And I'm looking forward to the reviews you do, man. I genuinely enjoy them, and I'm excited to see what you think about the catalog when you jump into it. And thank you for having me on your channel, man. And
always, brother.
And man, it was a good talk, bro. Shit, I just saw the time. Dang, okay. We done made a movie. We done made a whole documentary here, bro.
Hey, that's a fact, man. I'm going to split it 50-50. We're gonna give it to Hollywood and see what they could do with it. I just want the only reason I want The Rock to play me. That's the only reason.
You want The Rock to play you?
That's it.
I don't know who I'm gonna have to get one of them guys from Duck Dynasty to play me, I guess.
That would be some
Freeway.
crazy ass movie.
I'm gonna get Freeway to play me. Do I look?
Go ahead.
Like Freeway?
Little bit.
Do I look? Hold on. Do I look like Freeway?
Oh man, dude, it's been a great conversation, bro. I love it, man. You're my brother from this point on, man.
Amen.
I love the
Likewise.
energy, and we got to do this again sometime, man.
Yeah, absolutely, Ray. I love you, dog. I appreciate
Love
it,
you,
man.
bro.
It's been
Love you,
a
man.
blessing, man. Enjoy the rest of your night. Love to everybody in the chat, man. Thank you for
Everybody. I
support.
appreciate you guys coming through, man. That's Mesus. If you don't know, follow him. Description below. I'm gonna talk to you guys on Monday. I love all of you. We out of here.
Peace.
Peace.